Hey, everyone. How's everybody doing? On this amazing Saturday. I hope you all are enjoying your weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, everyone. I am JL. For those who may be new to the stream, and welcome to Bridge the Divide. So, man, a lot of stuff going on this week. A lot of crazy stuff. I don't even know where to. I really don't even know begin. I'll tell you what. A lot of stuff to talk about, and I want to get your guys' thoughts. I want to get all of y'all's thoughts on what is going on. First and foremost, what is this? What is this notification I'm getting? Irish Demon is going live in 30 minutes. Or I guess he has a premiere in 30 minutes. Okay, that's okay. I had mine scheduled first. So, man, a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, and I figured it was time that we needed to have a chat about it and talk about some of this crazy stuff, because it's getting a little out of control, especially this latest bill that's currently, I guess, trying to make its way through the state Senate of Oklahoma, and it's just absolutely insane. So, not to mention, I'm going to be taking a look at Tom Rabbit's latest video, because a good friend of mine took on Darth Dawkins, and by the name, it goes by Corsi. And it was a good friend of mine from back in Texas. Absolutely love the dude. He's crazy smart, super, great dude. And he pretty much exposed Darth for everything he has. And I want you guys to experience it as well. So we're going to laugh at that. And the reason I'm looking at it is because Jefferson Spatchcock, and I see him there in the chat. Jefferson Spatchcock, good to see you. And he watched it earlier and he critiqued it. And I wanted to do the same. And plus, there's an argument that Corsi has in there that because Darth kept trying to shut him down, he never really got to explain. I sent a breakdown of it over to Jefferson Spatchcock, and I'm also going to break it down for y'all, because y'all will be like, well, what was Corsi trying to say? It sounds very interesting. Yeah, he absolutely destroyed him. It was hilarious. It was in perfect Corsi style. It was brilliant. So before we jump into anything at all, not to mention, I've also sent out some invites to sent out some invites to Johnny, to Jefferson, if he wants to come along. I know he may be busy. It's okay. It's quite all right. If they like to pop on and talk about this Christian nationalism issue that seems to be rising its ugly, ugly head. So maybe it's something that we've seen before in the past. It'll just go away on its own. Maybe it's grandstanding from certain political members. Maybe it's not. Don't know. It seems that it seems like the table may have turned a little bit, starting January 6th of last year. So I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to get you. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. But before we do anything, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat, because you know me. I love saying hi to everybody who hangs out with me. So starting up first, we got Ardo Rissanen. Thank you so much. He says, yes, we need to talk. Christian nationalism is not only a problem in the USA, but worldwide. Absolutely. It is. It is. Nationalism of any kind of religious, ideology or theocratic ideology, really, really bad. It's like, it literally turns into, here's my vote. Thanks. God will decide. It turns into that. That's what's that's the scariest thing about it. It's like, I'm voting. Yeah, God will decide. Who's really deciding? That, lots of things can come from that. Thank you so much, Ardo, for being here. Ugly German Jews in the house. This is not to the same extent yet in terms of political and cultural power, but with the USA quickly succumbing to total CN domination, it could explode in a kind of reverse revolutionary cycle, a la the 1820s to 1848. Very interesting. Very interesting. And yes, the state flags that were on that were Virginia, Oklahoma, D.C., Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee. You are correct. Angie, good to see you. Says, hell yeah, let's get to talking. Bigger virus than the log allergy. Yep. Good to see you, Angie. Thanks so much for being here. Clive Wells with the obligatory ghosts. I appreciate the alternative energy, Clive. We need to keep the stream powered somehow. Thank you so much for being here. Sean Alexander, another member of the Godless Army. There is Christian nationalism is a parasitic infestation. I could hear like Agent Smith saying that. A parasitic infestation. So thank you so much, Sean, for being here. Appreciate the support. And I see Sir Little Wolf, Aru to you, another member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much for the support. Mark Short's in the house. Hello, hello. And I see the Turtle Moves in the house. Good to see you. Yep, Radical has spoken. I know Radical, the Unhallowed Knight has spoken about this at length in the past, and we're going to speak about also a number of other atheist YouTube or content creators like Paulogia and Radical the Unhallowed Knight and Telltale that do stuff way better than I do. So there's a lot of them out there. They're way better than me. I'm hoping, over time I'm learning and I'm upping my game. But these guys are really magnificent. But we're going to talk about it too, because you got to have the conversation. It just because other people are doing it doesn't mean all the voices together. That's how we do it. Everybody having the conversation. So, Regios, thank you so much for being here. This is finally awake during a live stream. It's good to have you. Thank you so much, Regios, and another member of the Godless Army. Thank you for the support. There's Jefferson Spatchcock saying hello. Anamorphic Mind, you are correct. Of course, he did destroy Darth. Good to see you, Anamorphic. Thank you so much for being here. AJ Heeb says good evening. Another member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much. And the Jord says, hey, sexy party people. What's up with you, Jord? Good to see you. Thank you for being here, bud. And I think, there he is. Monkey in the works is lurking. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Sorry, Monkey. But good to see you and a member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much for the support, bud. And AJ Heap says, but those guys don't have purple beards. This is true. They do not have purple beards in celebration or in raising awareness of Cancer Awareness Month, which is the month of February. So, yes, purple. So, and I actually have a link. I think I put the link in there, but you can look online, February Cancer Awareness Month, for different ways to support that. But I wanted to raise awareness for Cancer Awareness Month. And of course, anybody out there who is a cancer survivor or knows a loved one or has a loved one who is a cancer survivor. So to raise awareness for cancer prevention and awareness. So, and the George is better than jail. Inconceivable. Well, I appreciate that, Jordan. They are better. They've just been doing it longer, and they know more, and they're just, they're a bit more sad. So, but I love their work, and they teach me, as much as anybody else. So I love watching them. But thank you so much, Jordan. I appreciate it. Mark Beiser's in the house, a member of the Godless Army. Says, "Derp." Good to see you, Mark. Hope the whiskey is treating you well. And let's see, Mr. E-Man. Oh no, he's trying to start it. Don't start it. No. But thank you so much for being here, Mr. E-Man. Oh, good to see everybody. Fan-friggin-tastic. Okay. Oh, Ardo says, when ideologies mix with nationalism, they usually do tend to go in bad directions. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's scary. It can be very scary. So, and the George is trying to complete it. That's two. He's like, he swear he's like a great value Beetlejuice, just not good. That is a bad idea, and you should feel bad. Reggio says, if you have seen some religious people speak up about separation of church and state in the U.S., there are some that understand keeping religion out of the government protects religion as well. Oh, Anamorphic Mind says, when can we get a J.L. Jefferson OnlyFans? I don't know if I could speak to that, but I know he's in the chat. You're going to have to take it up with Jefferson. See, I'm the bottom. I have no doubt that Jefferson's the top. So you have to take it up. I'm not fucking around. Oh, I'm sorry, Jefferson. Al, mods, you know what to do. Take care of those bots in the chat. I see those bots popping up. Ugly German Truth says, all my ism is better than yours are dangerous ideologies. Nationalism, racism, sexism. Agreed. Absolutely terrible stuff. So, yeah. But, yeah, we're going to get to it. So, I hope everybody is having a fantastic Saturday. So, as a matter of fact, you know what? What I ought to do, because there are people out there that are far more succinct than I am. And I wanted to get this information. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up because it's not that long. And I want to share it with y'all what we're talking about. So the conversation that I wanted to have about this whole like Christian nationalism thing is this shit is legit. In my opinion, it's getting out of hand. It's absolutely getting out of hand. And something that's really cool is Forrest Valkai, who runs a channel. And congratulations to Forrest Valkai, who recently hit 100,000 subscribers. He deserves it. He does absolutely amazing work. I cannot remember the last time I've listened to somebody who loves science and learning as much as he does. Most of the people that I listen to are long established scientists and, hey, Skooma Cat, good to see you, are established scientists. They've been, they've been doing, they're in their fields for like decades and decades. And Forrest brings a level of energy and just kind of youthful wonder at all of science, despite his expertise. As much as he knows, yes, Jordan, he is so wholesome. I just want to hug him. I probably could one day. He doesn't live that far from me. He's here in Oklahoma, like legit. So I hope one day I can have him on the I can have him on the show. I'd love to be able to chat with him and talk with him. Yeah, I know he was on Creaky's. Creaky, that was an awesome debate. I seriously doubt that Matt Powell is actually going to debate Forrest Valkyrie. Powell would get friggin' destroyed. Aaron Reese, member of the Godless Army, says, lurking and listening. Got to run out and buy smokes. Get after it, son. Get after it. All right. But Turtle says, not after that last. What was this? What did I miss about the book burning? Turtle Move says, next thing Greg Locke will be going for is governor. No, I seriously doubt it. Because not after that, yeah, I have to agree with Anamorphic. Not after that last book burning. Especially, I don't know if y'all caught it, the fact that somebody there was two things that were going on during that, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So, in case anybody doesn't know, and I'm sure all of you do, but I'll recap for anybody who might not know what happened. Greg Locke decided to hold a little book barbecue outside on the outside of the little the plastic saran wrap tent he's got going on ever since that tornado wiped out his shit. And he decided to burn, he was burning Masonic books, Masonic Bibles. He was burning Harry Potter, Twilight, anything that they considered blasphemous or demonic or promoting witchcraft or any crap or any stuff like that. Pretty much fiction books. And so they had this big party. They all come out and they're just throwing books, and they had them all set up in these big steel oil drums. And they're just throwing books and I think articles as well. They were throwing fezzes, Shriner fezzes, and various other things that they hate and they think is just ridiculous. So they're throwing this stuff in the fire. Two things were going on in the background. Well, one thing going on in the background, one thing happened that was not caught on Greg Locke's tape, but apparently somebody infiltrated the bonfire and chucked a Bible into the bonfire. And it was funny because they didn't hear him at first. They're all so loud. He throws his, yeah, I just burned a Bible. Yeah. I myself don't really condone burning of any book, because any book at least holds information. Information is either going to be true or it's going to be false. And the more information you have, the more equipped you are in order to just, determine the difference between what is true and what is false. If you burn all of the false stuff, that's problematic as much as burning all of the true stuff. So I'm not really for burning any book of any kind because, information. But, I get where he was coming from. He was taking a stance and support his right to counter protest in this matter, because there is nothing wrong with burning a Bible. Just like, there's nothing wrong with burning the American flag. There's nothing wrong with burning symbols of religions or ideologies that you despise, especially in a counter-protest manner. So I uphold that. So he decided to do his disgusting little book burning thing, which is just gross. And then and then this guy rolls up like just a champion, chucks a Bible into the fire. It starts screaming, I burned a Bible. I just burned a Bible. And at first, all of those chuckleheads started clapping and cheering him until they started yeah, this is amazing. Wait a minute, what did he say? They finally catch on, and then he yells when everyone's kind of quiet, happy birthday. Oh no, just hail Satan. Say happy birthday. He says hail Satan. He yells hail Satan. So he yells hail Satan, and then they all oh, like that, and then they start surrounding him. Nobody attacked him, but they start trying to corral him off the property. My curiosity would be, if it were me and I had chosen to do this, I wouldn't have moved, because they'd have to get the cops to come and get me, because I'm not threatening anybody and I haven't gone into the tent. So technically, by Tennessee law, I haven't broken any laws just by coming onto the church grounds. So they can do whatever they want. So if they assault me to get me off, that's me against them. But I would have just stood there and been like, yep, just enjoying it. And see how far they're willing to go, how far their Christian nationalism is willing to push them. So, but nonetheless, they eventually corralled him to a car where his friend was waiting, and they jumped in the car, had some choice words for the Nationals. Because the minute they got in the car and the minute the threat of violence was out of there, the threat of violence was out, or was I guess the threat, the chances that anybody could throw a punch were gone. All of a sudden, all of the Greg Locke fundies started getting real mouthy. Once he's in the car and the door is closed and the window is up, nobody, it's like, oh yeah. Then they started getting real mouthy, which is funny. So, oh, I see. Adam's in the house. Says, don't want them cops showing up and trespassing you. If they did call the police call them and trespass me. That's it. I mean, if Greg Locke owns the property and I'm on the property and they trespass me, that's a different story. But they themselves can't physically assault me to do that unless I go into the tent and start mucking with their stuff. But it's just like walking in someone's front lawn. I can walk in anybody's front lawn that I want, and then they can order me off their property. But if I'm not threatening them, then they can say, I'm going to call the cops. You're trespassing. They call someone up and say, okay, get off his property. You're trespassing. You don't come on his property again. That's the process. But I'd be very curious to see how far they would go. Like if they would put their hands on me. But thank you, Adam, for so much for being here. I do appreciate the support. Adam says, I would happily burn all Bibles if it killed off religion forever. They eventually, and that's the wild thing. Eventually, they'd be back, but they would be completely different. It would be completely different. So that's just the way it is. KCA Randy's in the house. The Straight White American Jesus is a podcast that talks about Christian nationalism, hosted by two highly educated guys. One of my favorite podcasts, both ex-evangelicals. One is still a Christian. Interesting. I have to check that out. Straight White American Jesus. Very interesting. Mark Short says, Christian nationalism equals Nazi America. I agree. Oh, yeah. Oh, so there was two things going on. I see Marcus Dresden in the house. Good to see you, Marcus Dresden. Thank you so much for being here, bud. I appreciate the support. And, there's another bot. Man, the bots are out in force today. They must be bored. So, yeah, smack that bot away, mods. And so the second thing that was going on was across the street. They were showing Harry Potter, I think a Harry Potter film, on a projector blasted up on the wall. So across the street, they were doing their own little counter protest. One dude infiltrated the group and tried to burn a book. I'm burning books. I'm burning a Bible. And it's like, wait a minute. So, yeah, they're not too bright. And, of course, I had to comment in those comment threads. So if you happen to be following those comment threads on some silly stuff, man, engaging with these people is just painful. It's beyond me. You saw the little comment post when I was like, please explain, it was like, please explain how you know this to be God's will without begging the question. And the dude responded to me, what was the question? Or he was like, what question? And I'm like, well, nobody ever accused a Locke fundy of applying to Mensa. So that's just, whatever. But nonetheless, absolutely wacky stuff. But as I said, the Christian nationalism thing, ever since January 6th of last year, it seems to be the push seems to be increasing. Now, here's the big problem is a lot of the bills that we see popping up, the bills that have popped up in Georgia, in Virginia, in Tennessee, in Texas, in Oklahoma, a lot of the bills we see popping up, we would think with common sense that they would not pass because they're absolutely ridiculous. Like with common sense, they're not going to pass. But then again, and we would think that's our kind of the first impulse is that this is ridiculous. This is obviously not going to pass. And then you look because it's unconstitutional in some way. And then we turn around and we look at the people who are putting forward these bills, and their base is pretty much radical fundamentalist Christians, or they're evangelical Christians, or some sort of religious base. So we can justify saying, we look at it and say, oh, well, they're most likely grandstanding. They're just like saying, hey, look, I'm still your man. Vote for me again is pretty much what they're saying. Look at the things I'll fight for. And grandstanding is, it's political nonsense. It's bullshit. We deal with it every single year. We deal with it every year, every 2 years, every 4 years. So the problem is Texas kind of broke that with its abortion bill because lawmakers in Texas found a way to essentially circumvent the Constitution without violating it. They essentially circumvent the Constitution. That's what they discovered by turning it not into a criminal case, but into a civil case, creating bounty hunters that will look for women having abortions. So, and anybody associated with that abortion can be sued for up to $10,000 per individual. So that means if a woman is pregnant, she finds out, and it's after the 6 week date, after the six week cutoff, then she goes and gets an abortion. Then if an Uber driver took her, the Uber driver can be sued for $10,000. If the doctor, the nurses, all of them, that whoever helped, who was ever part of the procedure, they could all be sued each individually for $10,000. The father, if he finds out after the fact, he can sue her for $10,000. This is and the worst part of it, if she was raped and she was impregnated and she went and got, and she didn't realize and she didn't find out until, trauma is a thing. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a thing. And she doesn't find out about it until, like, say, 7 weeks later. There is no provision for incest and rape in that bill. And she goes and gets a divorce. The rapist finds out about it. The rapist could sue her for $10,000. So, and the screwed up thing is, the really screwed up thing is that the Supreme Court did nothing about this. Every single liberal mind on the bench of the SC said this is abominable. This is such an egregious violation of constitutional protections, but it's not criminal is the problem. It's civil. But because it's a civil thing, the Supreme Court's not intervening. For what? I'm not even saying that. For whatever reason, because they didn't really state the reason. They declined to address it. So that's like the Texas situation. But because the Texas situation thing passed, other states are starting to take that as hey, we could do this shit too. And the two scary ones that passed here in Oklahoma, or the two scary ones that are on the book, that are coming up here in Oklahoma. The first one was the teachers can be sued up to $10,000 per instance, and lose their jobs. They can be sued up to $10,000 for talking about gender identity or sexuality in class. What was it? Wait, what was that one? Yeah. Bringing that up at any point, and I think I'm conflating two things. I think there were two separate things. There was one about bringing up sexual orientation and gender. That's in Florida. My bad. Sorry. Woo. That's Florida. That's the no say gay law. In Oklahoma, it was offending religious sensibilities. So if the teacher says something or whatever, or teaches something that offends the sense or offends the religious sensibilities of a student, their parents can sue the teacher for $10,000, and the school or the district cannot help them with it. No one else can help them with it. That has to be paid for by the student, by the teacher's own pocket. And if somebody helps them with it, they'll automatically be fired. And even if they teach it and they get sued, they could still be fired by the district anyway, because at that point they're a liability. So they'll probably lose their job anyway. So yes, I apologize. I conflated two things. In Florida, the bill is called the Don't Say Gay, whereas in teachers can be sued by parents if they were to address homosexuality, sexual orientation of any kind, or gender identity in a teaching environment, in the school environment. That bill, I think, passed. I'm not sure, but it may be on its way. But nonetheless, that's in Florida. In Oklahoma, it's offending, religious sensibilities. Essentially, I'm really curious of what's going to happen. So like that covers evolution, that covers homosexuality, that covers sexual orientation, that covers gender identity, that covers, human health, sex ed, a number of things. Old Earth, shit like that, like actual science. John Rapp, good to see you, John Rapp. Thank you so much for being here, bud. So, and Bob Nodell's Gyroscope, good to see you, Bob Nodell. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate the support. So yeah, so that's what's going on in Oklahoma. So we don't know what the outcome of this, because I don't think this is passed yet. Paul's heart attack support. We may need it here soon, sir. Your support. Your politics are really screwed up. They are screwed up here in America. They really, really are. They're all over the place. AJ says we've fished across the line into a world that is beyond parody. I can't make up anything more ridiculous. Yeah, we are on the dumbest timeline. That is the truth. That is the truth. Scuba says, yeah, can you sue because another person's religious beliefs offend you? That's interesting because I'm really, hey, gonna go for it. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. That's interesting, Scuba Cat, because the question then becomes, what if you have a Christian, Islamic, and atheist student in the school, in the room? What do you do? So that's the wild thing. That's the really, really screwed up thing. And then, so that's the teaching things that, offending religious sensibilities, Bill. And here's the next one. This one came from Forrest. Forrest covered this like the minute. Oh, Adam says, what if you laugh at the flying spaghetti monster? If you're a Pastafarian, maybe. I actually would be a Pastafarian before I became a Christian ever again. So, but this one came down from, let me find it. Wait a minute, hang on a sec. Yeah, there we go. Oklahoma, bingo, here we go. So this is from Forrest Valkai.
I'd like to draw your attention to this bill that was just introduced here in Oklahoma. It's called House Bill 2973, and as you can see here, it makes it so that the state of Oklahoma cannot prohibit mental health care providers or religious advisors from engaging in sexual orientational change efforts or certain gender dysphoria resolution efforts. So in other words, conversion therapy. This bill is protecting conversion therapy.
Yes, that's the latest one just passed. That is House Bill 2973. Protecting conversion therapy. Now, there's some caveats to this, but they're ridiculous.
And making it so that the state can never outlaw conversion therapy. The author of the bill made sure to include a section.
I love the villainous tone he put in there. Was brilliant.
Expressly stating that children under the age of 18 were allowed to be subjected to these therapies. And the bill declares itself an emergency measure, stating that it is necessary for the peace, health, or safety of the public.
Yes. That was in the bill. The peace, health, and safety of the public is the reason he wrote this damn thing. That's his mentality. Is literally it's freaking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
While Section 4C does say that no part of this bill should be used as justification for aversion therapy, passing a whole bill protecting conversion therapy and then just including a little paragraph that says,
there's a little bit, and let me back it up a little bit. There's a little bit in there where it doesn't cover, it covers pretty much all conversion therapy except for aversion therapy, which is demonstrably the most harmful, psychologically harmful of any of them. Aversion therapy is really bad. So they're not covering that. They're accepting the science of that, but all other forms of conversion therapy, they are protecting. This bill is designed to ensure that no future bills can be passed that could stop conversion therapy. That's the point of this bill. This protects future conversion therapy.
a whole bill protecting conversion therapy and then just including a little paragraph that says, but I guess just don't do the worst kind of conversion therapy, is kind of sending mixed messages. Let me be very clear. Conversion therapy is dangerous, pseudoscientific nonsense. It does not work. It has never worked. And for fuck's sake, why would you want it to work?
I love this man. I love him so much.
It is backed by absolutely no credible scientific evidence whatsoever. The only data surrounding conversion therapy that you need to know about is that in 2019, the Trevor Project found that 42% of young people who underwent conversion therapy later attempted suicide. But don't just take my word for it. Here's a list of some of the organizations that have publicly denounced conversion therapy for the literal torture that it is. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Association of Marriage and Family Therapy, the American College of Physicians, the American Counseling Association, the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric...
The fucking AMA. The AMA. I cannot tell you. This is what's wild. The AMA, the American Medical Association, their guidelines are so intensive. The fines for violating AMA provisions when you were running a business, like when we were working when I was working in the convenience store industry, the fines for violating AMA guidelines regarding like disabilities and handicaps and access are insane. Okay, they do not fuck around. And the AMA is saying this is literally torture. It does not work. So, hey, UKPI. Good to see you. Says hello, Jail, and everyone in the chat. I hope you are well. I hope you are well as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh, Bridget Anamorphic says, I know this hurts, but for sorting. I know he's married.
Psychiatric Association, the American Psychoanalytic Association, the American Psychological Association, the American School Counselor Association, the American Association of School Administrators, the National Association of Secondary School Principals, the American Federation of Teachers, the American School Health Association, the National Education Association, the American School Health Association, the National Association of Social Workers, the National Association of School Psychologists, the School Social Work Association of America, the Interfaith Alliance Foundation, and the Pan American Health Organization.
The Interfaith Alliance Foundation has indicated that this stuff is bad, that conversion therapy is bad.
Organization, which is a regional office of the World Health Organization. We don't just not need this bill. We need the opposite of this bill.
Yes.
We need a bill banning conversion therapy. So please join me in calling the Oklahoma State House of Representatives to tell them that.
And those are the numbers. So I'm telling you what I'm going to do, because I love being here in my office because I can take notes. I got to thank my wife for this magnificent planner. I love it. So what that looks like, the Oklahoma House State Powers Committee, Oklahoma House State Powers Committee, the HSPC, and that is Stiegel J. Looks like Jay Stiegel. So Stiegel. And that is 405-557-7352. And that's a bunch of them. Okay. And 735. Oh, those are all the same. Oh, those are all the same people. Okay, cool. So 7352, 7358, 7321, 7344. 7410 and 7343. Thank you so much, bureaucracy, for making that easy. Gotta love the Kafka-like politics that we have. And that's Stearman, of course. He's in Oklahoma. Stearman. Crosswhite. And Burns, Waldron, and West. Burns, Waldron, and West. I will be calling all of these individuals to discuss this horrific bill. You can guarantee it. I will be on the phone and I will call these people and I'll be like, yo, hey, I live in the state. What the fuck? And see what they have to say. H. Jasperee's in the house. Hey, awesome people. Hey, to you, awesome, sir. And another member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much. Oh, Animal Mind says ugly German. Oh, he says ugly German beat you to it. That's true. Could just take a quick screenshot to keep. This is true, but I carry this planner with me all everywhere pretty much, and I'll have those notes ready and well. I can just be like boom, and there I am. Plus, I could keep it on my phone, but having the phone out when you're talking with people can be kind of like, I guess I'm old fashioned in that respect. But I have the notes there, and I will. And Skooma, I was actually thinking, he says, can you record those calls? I was actually thinking about doing it live, doing a live stream and calling them and hearing what they say. I think we could do it. I think I could do it. I could just put them on speaker, and talk about it. So that's a thought. I'm thinking about doing it probably on Monday because it's Saturday. So they're probably it's Saturday and it's 4:30. They're probably not going to be there. So yeah, if you want to hear me call these representatives, let me know. Punch it in there, let me know in the comments or in the live chat if you want me to call these representatives live on the air, like I'm on the fucking radio, live on a live stream, and hear what they have to say. What do you have to say about this? Let's talk to them about it. Red Ink is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Just very glad we were having this important conversation. Absolutely. And I saw Randolph Richardson, the man, is in the house. A live stream would be great. Fuck yeah, I'm going to live stream it. I will live stream it, and I will call these cats and hear what they have to say. Ugly George is Oklahoma a two-party state or a one-party state? One-party state. So Oklahoma Security of Communications Act provides that it is illegal to record an in-person or telephone communication without the consent of at least one party. Or to record a communication with criminal or tortious intent. Illegal recording is felony punishable by fine and or imprisonment. So that is Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a one-party consent state. Yay me. So yeah, that'll work. So we can see what they have to say. We're a one-party consent state. AJ, that's according to the Oklahoma Security of Communications Act, that we are a one consent state. So recording law. Oklahoma recording law stipulates that it is a one-party consent state. In Oklahoma, it is a criminal offense to use any device to record or share use communications, whether they are wire, oral, or electronic, without the consent of at least one person taking part in the communication. This means that in Oklahoma, you are legally allowed to record a conversation if you are a contributor or with prior consent from one of the involved parties, barring any criminal intentions. Oklahoma statute, Title 13, subsection 176.4, West 2012. And that was as of October 13th, 2021. So, yeah, single party consent. Boom, boom, boom. I would have checked. I would have checked. And if it was a two-party, I would have asked them. So, all right. So, yeah. Do you consent to recording your so yes. Here it is. I consent to recording my own phone calls. I absolutely consent to recording my own phone calls. I absolutely do. And most likely they're recording it on their end as well, because incoming calls, what if I were to make if someone were to call in and make a threat, they would obviously want a recording of that. So most likely any calls that are going in are recorded by that individual's office. I have no doubt for security purposes. All right. I thought I saw somebody new pop in. There she is. Cindy Johnson's in the house. Good evening. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being a member of the Godless Army. Yes, Randolph Richardson. Only one party? You could be that one party. Consent is granted. Consent granted. Absolutely. So, yep, it's going to be good. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know how they're going to respond. I'm very, very curious, but I'm looking forward to talking to them. So, Bob Nodell says, so frauditors are a no-no then in Oklahoma. I haven't seen any frauditors trying that crap up here in OK. So I don't know. Haven't heard about it. So these are the bills that are this stuff is going on. And I see some really amazing people in the chat who do a lot of their own work. Surf, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Another member of the Godless Army. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So there's a lot of people in the live chat who do their own activism and do their own work in this field. And it's good. It's very important. So the question is, as these bills keep popping up, and I want your guys' opinion, is this something we need to be worried about? Or is it just another wave of grandstanding? And I think the linchpin issue on this is the January 6th insurrection, the January 6th riots. I think that is kind of where the worm turned, where all of a sudden fundies felt they could take it upon themselves to try and affect change through forceful measure beyond what is allowed by the law. So, Adam says, I'm not worried at all. I'm not in the U.S. Oh, yeah. Well, that's just great to be you. Ardo says, have a News Now Oklahoma playlist of you yourself frauditing. So, that's right. The U.S. Constitution doesn't apply in Canada. This is very true, Randolph. So, yeah. That's the whole big thing. Is it grandstanding, or are they essentially basically throwing shit at the wall and hoping that something will stick? Because if we sit on our laurels, something may get through. And while the beautiful thing about living in this country is that just because shit may make it through, And Just Call Me Abby's in the house. Good to see you, Just Call Me Abby. He says, poof, I appear. Just because a bill may make it through, we can always take it down. Even if it's an amendment to the Constitution, we can always shut it down. That's right, Turtle Moves. Even if it is grandstanding, some shit still gets through. So we have to be on our guard. I think it is a matter of this is a reminder for vigilance. Whether you are religious or not, it really doesn't matter. What matters is the separation of church and state important? Is there a point where you say the two should not inform one another? That religious ideology should not inform legislation. Now, there's some Christians out there who will be like, absolutely, Christianity should inform the government. Well, what if it wasn't Christianity? What if it was Islam? They would say no. Especially hardcore Christians would say absolutely not. Well, if it's absolutely not for Islam, then it's absolutely not for every other religion. That's the way it works. There is no religious exception in America. It's freedom of religion, freedom from religion. That's the way it works. Facty, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. I see you. Yes, absolutely, Skooma. It is not important. It is essential. Paramount. So that's the thing. While all of us, and here's what's wild, and there's some people that may disagree with me on this one. While we're all running around screaming at people who won't wear their masks, screaming at people who won't get vaccinated, screaming at people who are violating this, screaming at people who are challenging the police, looking to meet Mr. Sparky, while we are looking at all of these idiots, while we are running around and doing this, is there enough people looking at what Christian nationalism is doing? And that's what we need to bring up. I think that is the important thing, is that I don't know, because I live in Oklahoma. That's how I learned about this, because I live in the state. I used to live in Texas. That's how I learned about, and I have friends there. That's how I learned so quickly about the Texas abortion law, the Texas abortion ban, before it went national. So then the question is, how many states out there that are essentially GOP controlled, that have strong fundamentalist Christian bases, are slowly but surely are currently writing stuff, trying to slip it in? It's not about the shit that we are seeing hit the wall that we can combat. What about all the stuff we don't hear about? That's kind of like wedged in there in the fine print of a bill, Because sometimes they'll wedge in, like lawmakers will tack stuff onto a bill. They'll tack amendments onto a bill. They'll be like, well, this bill passes, but then all of this giant list of crap passes along with it. And they'll do that to kill the bill. So they realize they can't kill the bill outright because of the popularity of the bill. But what they can do is they can stack a bunch of shit onto the bill that will essentially get the bill killed, is what they do. So that's the wild thing. How much are we not aware of? And that's what's scary. And if these things pass, Florida, Oklahoma, the effects in DC, if these things continue to pass, what are they going to think of next? That's freaky. That concerns me. That's very, very scary. Is what could come down next. Women, I mean, how far of a throw is it from you can't have an abortion anymore to abortion bans? You can't have an abortion to you can't travel in between states without papers, to you can't vote, to you can't own property. I know that we're going to extremes here. These are extremes. But the reality is, it wasn't that long ago that these were the norms here in America. How long ago did women get the right to vote? How long ago did blacks get the right to vote? How long ago did these things were not the norm. In the late 1800s, it's only 2022. 200 years ago, 1822. Imagine what it was like. 1899, 1922. So, yeah, it's not that far. It's not that long as far as like terms of like a country. So scary stuff. All I say is that I would recommend being aware of what's, and many of you are being aware of what's going on in your state, because there's a bad bunch out there. There's a bad bunch out there that don't like the freedoms that we have. And because the system that we have secures their rights to behave the way they do, as the kind of like the opposite side of the coin of us having the rights that we do. This makes for really, really difficult discussions. How much are you willing to sacrifice to remain free? And hard questions, especially when you see what it can slowly become. Because I guarantee you, we don't want to be a theocracy. That would be terrifying. That would be seriously terrifying. Anamorphic Mind says, have you checked out Surrey's video on the Earn It Act? I have not. I will make a note of that. The Earn It. I will take a look at that. Thank you very much for that recommendation. Angie says, like, they can seriously stamp their brand on a cross, have these false prophet fucks paraded around, and Uncle Sam sees nada. It seems like it, but then again, a lot of them hold positions of power, and they won't. And it's that they hold positions of power, and it's not that many of those in those positions of power are trying to pass this stuff. It's that many of those in positions of power will not fight against them because they will not jeopardize their chances of being reelected. That's the whole point. It's when good men do not. It feels weird calling any of them good men, but it's when good men do nothing is what this is. They don't want to risk having their bases turn on them by fighting things that their bases like, even if they themselves stand against it. So they will side with their base and they will do nothing, which in and of itself is doing something when it comes to politics. UK Pi or UKPI? UK Pi says politics, democracy should have no religious input or be affected by religion. Agreed. This is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Randall Richardson says any country that outlaws abortion is imposing human slavery on pregnant people by forcing them to take their pregnancy to term. It's a serious human rights violation. Absolutely. 100%. Texas is fucked up right now. Seriously, seriously fucked. Absolutely. Skooma says it starts with the little things. It absolutely does. Starts with little things. AJ says, to me, it seems like they are going to push the irreligious into legal institutions like the Satanic Temple in order to protect their rights just so they can claim the irreligious have their own cult. Instead of individuals protecting their own rights, the theocracy argument is so flimsy because as long as another religion sits above all, they freak out and cry. They do. They could truthfully claim persecution. So true. Bellywood is in the house. Good to see you, Bellywood, a member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate the support. And yes, all of these members of the Godless Army, thank you so much for being here. Channel members, you as well could be a channel member. I have channel badges for my channel members. The expanding mind meme, I divided up. The longer you're a channel member, the more your mind expands. You see what I did there. And of course, all of the wonderful emojis that I have created for you. And I think last we checked, I think I'm like 8 channel members away from unlocking the next emoji, which is the Greg Locke emoji. So I have created it. I want to unlock it for y'all. And I don't know if this one will get me in trouble, but I think it's funny. I think that y'all will like it once we unlock it. So the next one, I think I'm 8 away. I'm not sure. But the minute I can unlock it, I will let you all know, and I will include it. I will add it to all the other wonderful emojis. Thank you, Monkey in the Works, for showing a lot of those emojis. David Hume, I improved a lot of them. If you notice, I made a lot of them better. I've gotten better at my emoji game. Over on the Weekinhorror Discord, I added a whole bunch of emojis. I figured out how to make them. Basically, I figured out how to make them and make them correctly. So now I'm in the emoji game. So I got a bunch of emojis. So I got all these emojis here. I got another one coming up. It's going to be brilliant. The Greg Locke emoji, I think you guys are going to love. It's fantastic. It's inspired. We'll just say that. Locke inspired this one. It's fantastic. Oh, look at this. Oh, dude. Mr. Malord says, YouTube for $4.99 Freedom Dollars. Thank you so much, Mr. Malord, all the way from Chicago, and a Godless member, or member of the Godless Army. Godless member. Says, YouTube did not show my 6-month chat to you, so take some money. You rock. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I thank you so much for the support. Oh, and Adam has become a new member of the Godless Army. Adam, you rock. Thank you so much. Enjoy all of the emojis I've created for you, including Darth Dawkins with red duct tape on his mouth, crying Otangelo, Angry Santa. That's Eric Jewell. I debated him. Donut Earth, and a host of other ones. I hope you enjoy them all. And, of course, that cool one that's coming up here soon as we unlock it. Oh, yes, and thank you, Sir Little. Dr. Peel. That's for Matt Powell. Dr. Peel is in the house. Dib Dib's in the house. Good to see you. Dib Dib, you are not late. We've just been chatting. Good to see you. Ugly German Jew says, the Weekinhorror, worst emoji ever you could create to instill horror would be a smiling Ted Cruz. Ah, no. Get back. Back, I say. Oh, hilarious. But I love those emojis. I'm glad that you like them as well. And yes, Eric Santa. Eric Santa is the new emoji. He's angry. He's an angry Santa. And, of course, Kent Hovind in jail as well. I can't wait to show y'all the new Greg Locke one. It's hilarious. Alpha K91 is in the house. Good to see you, Alpha K91, another member of the Godless Army. Appreciate you being here. All right, so now that we talked a bit about that and the recommendation going out that pretty much I would say just be cautious and aware. Be aware of what's going on in your local center. I know politics is a bitch, and they make it annoyingly a pain in the ass to follow, and it's so trite. I get that. I absolutely get that. But just be aware. Be aware of what some of these crazier individuals are trying to, slip past the Constitution. Because, man, the more they slip by us, the more dangerous it's going to become. Unless you lock step with their ideology. That's terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying. All right. Oh, Bridges of Bob Nodell says, mention his name twice more, and he shall appear. Alf Kennedy one says, fight the Christian right. Damn straight. So, since we got over that, who wants to hear Corsi, my good friend Corsi, take on Darth Dawkins?
Hey, Tom Rabbit!
You gotta love his intros. I love this one. This one's got Soup Kettle's in the house. Good to see you, Soup Kettle. Thank you so much for being here, just in time. So I think you guys are gonna love this. This is absolutely hilarious. So take it away, Tom Rabbit.
I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit.
Of course, he's a pretty cool atheist. Have you ever talked with him before, Darth?
Oh, please, a waste of time.
You don't like Corsi.
He is. He's a very cool dude. He's a very cool atheist. I think he was pagan for like 20 years, I think. Not to try and toot my own horn. But Corsi and I talked at length, and I presented him with an argument. And this is what Corsi was trying to present to Darth. I myself have tried to present this to Darth on a number of occasions, and I think Darth knows where knows where we're going with it. So you'll find out what happens here. But Corsi is amazing, and he does amazing things. Tom, he should have gotten a T-shirt. Send that boy a T-shirt.
No, it's not that I don't dislike him.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't have to dislike somebody to say that they're a waste of time talking to.
Yeah, no, it's true. A lot. Like once you try a few times, that's it. I get that. I feel the same about,
look at his name, Teapotist, which is from Bertrand Russell. Bertrand Russell's Teapotist argument is embarrassingly bad given a man who is so brilliant in philosophy.
No, it's not. It showcases a very, very, very simple thing. Oh, Darth. Darth banking on the idea that everybody who listens to him is ignorant is essentially what Darth is, one of his major tactics. He banks on everybody who follows him, all of his little sycophants, all of his little, his little cheerleading squad, all of them, all of his little, nutsuckers. He's banking on them being ignorant and not having any idea what they're talking about it. Ugly German Shoe says, tooting your own horn is something for younger man than you to try, JL. You should be old and wise enough to get help for it by now. I should, I really should. I wouldn't have to flex every morning. I wouldn't have to, every morning I wake up. And Commander Darklight's in the house. Good to see you, Commander Darklight, all the way from Australia. Good to see you, sir, and another member of the Godless Army. I do appreciate your support, bud. From the very beginning, thank you so much, Commander Darklight. Randolph says, Darth has got so angry at me once, and I wasn't trying to provoke him that he rage quit, then proceeded to rant angrily about me for 9 minutes. A friend sent me a comment. That was probably in the Legion of Doom. That was probably where he was doing that crap. So, meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom. So here we go.
What is the Teapotus?
Well, Corsi, why don't you explain it?
In short, you can just make up any god and assign it to make up any god that you want, assign whatever attributes you want to it, and call it God. And there's no way to prove that is the right god versus any other god. So I use the Teapotist. I say I call myself a Teapotist because, well, there really is no way to demonstrate that God exists.
Okay, so what?
Pretty succinctly put.
What he just expressed is a typical position that atheists make. But you see, here's the problem.
Okay, we bring it up because it's valid. That's the point. Notice how he didn't knock it down. He said, it's fantastically bad. Corsi, why don't you explain it? Here it is in a nutshell, in a very easy way to understand it. This is what atheists do. He doesn't knock it down. That's what's hilarious. And every one of his little sycophants just don't see this.
Okay. When you make that statement, you're making a statement about all the facts that you're acquainted with. Either you will decide that all the facts that you're acquainted with necessitate referencing God or
got to go to the script. Got to go to the script.
Not. So how did you decide, okay, or have you decided that all the facts that you're acquainted with, are they indeterminate?
I understand and have seen the demonstration that they do not need your God to exist.
Okay, so if you say they exist without the need of God, that is the same thing as saying God does not exist. Do you understand
That's correct.
that? Okay, how is it that God doesn't exist?
I hate that question. Oh, that question is so loaded and it is such bullshit. I cannot stand the way he phrases that. It's such a bad question.
We have good evidence that God does not exist,
But I will say this, Corsi handles this shit in stride because we're all familiar with it. We are familiar with Darth's bullshit. We are familiar with his script. We could probably walk through it ourselves. So
God that the human race has dreamed up exists.
Okay, what is your rationale that what is fundamental and ultimate to all temporal states is not a mind?
God, I have like PTSD every time he says that. Plot hole is in the house. Good to see you. Hey, I'm bad. Good to see you, Plot hole. Thank you so much for being here. And a member of the Godless Army. I do appreciate you being here, bud. And Donnie Does That's in the house. Good to see you, Donnie. Donnie hung out with us watching horror movies last night. Well, somewhat horror movies, but watching movies last night on the Weekinhorror Discord. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, good to see everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
That doesn't follow from the question that you just asked before.
That's not an answer to my question.
Yes! Corsi.
You said you have good evidence, okay? Evidence will be in the form of a rational justification. What is your rational justification that God does not exist? Saying that you don't have evidence, okay? Is it your position there's no evidence for God?
Is there no evidence for God? There is no good evidence for God. Everything is evidence for God. The ground that I'm walking on is evidence for God, but it's also evidence for not God. If you want evidence for God,
stop right there. Then all you're just simply saying is the facts around you are indeterminate.
No.
Well, either they're determinate or they're indeterminate.
See how he does it.
So the facts are determinate of what? A God world or a not God world?
I believe it's a not God world.
As far as we can determine.
Good. How did you determine that all the facts you are acquainted with exist with metaphysical independence from God?
This is where Darth tries to force him into. This is the burden of proof switching, where Darth is trying to force him into a position where he has to accept the burden of proof, or he makes an argument from ignorance, where he's basically saying it hasn't been proven true, so therefore it must be false. Darth is trying to force him into this.
How'd you determine that?
Because one, we've never actually demonstrated that God exists. We've made things up. We've come up with our own like ideas. Like we've come up with the Christian Bible that's based on many other religions that have come long before it. So anything that we have actually seen, no God has ever actually been demonstrated to exist. And we keep coming up with new ones, and they still don't hold water.
Okay, so the not God world is deemed to be true solely on the grounds that the God world is unconvincing.
You see how he tried to do that again? He's trying to force Corsi into that argument from ignorance, into that appeal to ignorance.
Oh, the not God world is very convincing. Like I said, we have good evidence.
Notice again. Okay, focus on the question.
Focus on me trying to trap you. The reason you're not trapping him, Darth, is because he is focusing on your question, you moron.
I am.
Is it your position that the not God world is true solely on the grounds that you don't have a reason to believe in the God world?
No.
Okay. The not God world is true because
we have good evidence that the not God world is true.
Okay. What is that rational justification that the not God world is true?
This I believe speaks to epistemology.
Okay. Gonna have to give me a minute. It's gonna take a second.
So what Corsi's about to present here, I know a lot of people, some other people have heard this, but what Corsi's going to try and present here is something that Corsi and I have discussed at length. And it's something that I actually shared with Jefferson Spatchcock as well. Johnny asked me, how long am I going to be streaming? I guess however long I'm going to be on here. I may end up talking much, but I'm going to bring up this so I can actually break this one down. But we're going to get through the funny part of this first before we get into the heady like stuff.
So things like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, where we have given attributes to different gods, these exact same things like omnipotence, omnipotence, omnipresence, and omnibenevolence, we can understand that these are not true because of things like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle and the double slit experiment. When you look at
Corsi, stop.
God.
The reason this is happening, a little bit of inside information, the reason this is happening is because Corsi has turned Darth down. He's turned him down, and that he can't hear him trying to interject.
I don't want to have to
omnibenevolent, all these different things that we want.
I'm going to server mute you.
Many gods, like almost every god in the past.
I'm going to server mute you. This is absolute. This is. Listen to me. Listen to me.
We have done research and we understand.
Do I have to mute you?
Is true. So
do I have to mute you? Okay, I'll server mute it. He's just gish galloping and he's bullshitting.
No, he's not.
Okay. He's saying that temporal states, that something that is ultimate cannot exist in virtue of certain temporal states.
Bullshit, Darth. Because Darth was not listening, so Darth did not hear what Corsi was trying to say, what Corsi is essentially trying to convey. Darth went over into this whole thing where essentially he's pulled it back to where he's categorized, God as some sort of like this ultimate thing. So God is in this like a category of one. And even though he'll never demonstrate, and he'll always dodge away from trying to demands to demonstrate how he knows God to be in a category of one. Essentially, he's run into his own problems there. But I'll try and break this down. Yes, Commander Darth, by putting words in his mouth, it's absolutely ridiculous. But I'll give you this. So this is the breakdown, okay, of what was going on, because they never get back to this, okay? So God, and I'll give this, it's not going to be exactly what Corsi was going to say, but this is pretty much it. God is often defined as possessing particular attributes. Those attributes are often described as all-knowing or omniscient, all-powerful or omnipotent, all-loving or omnibenevolent, and sometimes omnipresent is also included in those attributes. The most problematic of these attributes is the omniscient property. There are problems with all of them, but the omniscient one is the most problematic. Now, follow me with, if you will. Uncertainty relations state that there can exist that there exist certain incompatible measurements to which the outcomes cannot be simultaneously predicted. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle is key here, that the exact position and velocity of a particle cannot be observed, measured, known simultaneously. If God possesses the attribute of omniscience, or even all-knowing as the creator of all things, then God's omniscience applies to all realms within the area of its creation. Because of how God is defined in the category 1, so this can actually work as an internal critique of Darth's God, of how Darth categorizes his God, we can assume, for lack of any better vernacular, that quantum fields or quantum realms or quantum mechanics all fall within this purview, okay? They fall within the realm of what God has created. The property of omniscience implies that God's omniscience violates the uncertainty relations of quantum mechanics. A violation of the uncertainty principle implies a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. So this gets a little bit heady, so follow with me. And I'm going to do this. For anybody interested, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it in the chat. This is a DOI that goes along with this that helps to explain this, okay? So the problem is the implications, okay? These are the implications of what it is. And this is the justification, because if this thing is implied, and then we don't see these things occurring in nature, and then if we were to resolve them, then we would see, very extreme empirical effects in nature. If these things were to be true, we can side with them that they have not been proven to be true, and we cannot accept them as the way things are, as the case. So a violation of the uncertainty principle implies a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. A violation of the second law of thermodynamics leads to a thermodynamic cycle with positive network gain. Okay? This is not what we observe. We can test for this, and we see that this is essentially entropy. Okay? So by violating the violation of the second law of thermodynamics alters the very fundamental nature of our universe. And it's even worse if you look at the ages of the universe. Even within 6,000 years, if you were like a young Earth creationist, this would be problematic. Okay, even if the universe is as old as as old as we could tell by redshift and blue shift, then it's bad. Okay, but so we know that because the second law of thermodynamics holds, we know the uncertainty relations are not violated. Therefore, we know that nothing omniscient is operating within our universe. That's the point. Just by virtue of having the knowledge is what makes it problematic, because when you know it, it's because you have ostensibly you are making that constant observation. You have the knowledge of it simultaneously. That's problematic. So this is all implication. So this leads to 3 conclusions. The 3 conclusions are: 1, God's attributes are true, and they have an empirical effect on our universe. And then that God uses its powers to hide the effects, to hide the violation of the second law of thermodynamics, to hide the violations of the uncertainty principle, the uncertainty relations. But this brings, because it's hiding these things actively, it brings its nature into question. That this could be a deceptive, misleading, or possibly even an evil God. So this brings the whole nature of God into question. Why would it hide evidence of itself? Why would it do this purposefully? Okay. Second, God's attributes, the second conclusion, God's attributes are indeterminate. We don't know what they are, but we do know that whether or not God has them, God does not exist within our universe and does not interact with our universe. This pushes it back to deism. And you find a lot of us have concluded that Darth, essentially, his arguments can break down to essentially deism, because you can reason yourself to deism and not really run into any problems. It's when you start stacking attributes onto God, that's when it becomes problematic. I have no issue with deists. You don't see people blowing themselves up in the name of a deity. Deism, you don't see that, okay, because there's no call for it. So I have no problem with deism. There's no deism extremism. So I got no issue with it. I don't do it. I don't accept deism myself, simply because I don't accept supernatural explanations for things. I simply say I don't know. So that gets you to, so the second conclusion leads to deism, The third one is human beings created an entity before they had a complete understanding of our reality. And now that our understanding has progressed to this degree, God has been pushed off the board as an explanation for anything, and it never actually existed, which would be atheism. You just don't believe in it because it's just not there. So it's one of the three. Okay? Now, does this technically get rid of God? No. It doesn't eliminate it. It simply pushes it to other areas. Well, one of them does. It's either atheism, deism, or it's an evil God. But all three of these knock down the Christian God. That's the big point, is that that's as far as we can take it. Okay? So either way, regardless of the conclusions, of these three conclusions we can come to, God is not worthy of worship. An evil God is not worthy of worship, or a God that will deceive you is not worthy of worship. Deism, deity, a generic deity that created the universe and then fucked off with no evidence of its existence, that is not worthy of worship. And of course, atheism. These are the only conclusions that you can get to given what we know right now. So that's what's important about this. This is what Corsi was attempting to convey, but Darth wouldn't let him do it. And that's because Darth has heard this before, and he doesn't want that conversation to be had. Because every time I bring this up, it blows my mind. Every time I've been in a room and I've presented this argument to any group, there have at least been 3 or 4 people that have been like, can I get the DOI on that? Can I get the information on that and follow along with it? I was like, absolutely, you may. You absolutely can. So that is what Darth doesn't like. That's the problem with that. Okay, so we'll continue on with here. I've taken enough time away from Corsi. Let's check this out.
Okay. Now, God is defined as what is.
You're done.
Hey, Nimrod, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, bud.
You're done. You want to interrupt me and then serve mute me?
But see, this is precisely my point.
My point is you just want to sit there and
appealing to the quantum realm.
As soon as someone gives a good, solid idea that's against you,
you didn't give a solid idea. Appealing to the quantum realm, okay, and he leaves.
Of course he left. Why would he stick around? He's got the time for your bullshit, Darth. Chris Durham Music Channel's in the house. Good to see you, Chris Durham. Thank you so much for being here.
Just gets into
this is where
hyper-caffeinated bullshit mode. Okay. Now, do you think that he seriously believes by invoking quantum mechanics is a defeater that what is fundamental to all things is not a mind?
No.
He's talking about Heisenberg.
And once again, this is what Darth does. Darth conflates epistemology and ontology. And someone brought it up earlier. I wish you would say it again, because I saw it go by in the chat, and I'm kicking myself for not pointing it out. It was such a brilliant little breakdown. Someone put it up in there. Where is it at? It was basically about how Darth will ask a question regarding ontology, and then basically the conflation of ontology and epistemology. And that's what Darth is doing here. Oh, thank you so much. UK Pie for £2, as I was told. God built Scotland first. Most likely he did. Fantastic. Mark Short says Darth is just another Oakley. That's very, very true. So, but this is what Darth is doing, because Darth asked him for his reasoning, his epistemology as to why we can reason to this position. Of course, he was giving him the epistemological reason why he can get there. He was giving him epistemology, and then Darth just reverted back to ontology with a metaphysical origin bullshit, smoke screen that he's got. This is what Darth does. He flip-flops between the two, and he conflates the two. And he does it banking on his opponent not recognizing that he's doing this.
Uncertainty principle? I mean, he knows that this is bullshit, and everyone else in the room knows it's bullshit. Then he starts talking about omnipotence. What if what is the ground of all existence simply is just very powerful?
That's deism. That is deism, Darth. You just advocated for deism.
See, this is what he does. I wasn't going to have him go on and on. Does anybody think what he was saying was truly substantive?
Yes. Well, I mean,
really? He's going to appeal to quantum mechanics?
For his
That was
epistemology,
funny.
yes.
I mean, he said he had good evidence, and then you asked him for the good evidence.
And he starts talking about the Heisenberg, appealing to theoretical constructs of the quantum realm.
It's not theoretical constructs, you dumb shit. Of course, okay, I'm sorry. Why would I possibly expect Darth to understand quantum mechanics? Nobody really understands, quantum mechanics a la, what's it, Feynman? Is it Feynman? I think it was who said that question, who made that statement, but I'm paraphrasing there. But yeah, to expect Darth doesn't even understand the difference between epistemology and ontology because he conflates the two all the time. He's either doing it on purpose or he's a fucking idiot and he doesn't realize he's doing it, which is even worse. Given his bad logical arguments and that whole video series when he was affirming the consequence over and over and kept doubling and tripling and quadrupling down, right? I mean, I'm willing to bet Darth really is dumb, like dumb.
It doesn't follow from that what is ultimate is not a mind.
It's because he's talking epistemology, not ontology.
This is the kind of crap that you would get from a fairly intelligent ninth grader who thinks he's being erudite and he's just filibustering. That was filibustering.
That erudite, that was one of the words in Darth's word a day calendar.
Yeah, I don't think he really wanted to debate. He just wanted to get off some anger on you for some reason.
No, what he wanted to do was to gish Gallop so that I would step in and server mute him. Okay, and then he could play the victim game. Well, Darth muted.
Oh, and look at that shit. So he did this because he knew I'd server mute him so that he could play the victim. How Darth manipulates the situation in front of his sycophants. Because Corsi's not even in the room at this point. Or at least I don't know if he's back yet. I don't think he's back. I think they announce when he's back. But Corsi's not even there. So he's got to twist it to his favor. This is the behavior of a narcissist.
Oh, Darth wouldn't let me finish.
I am the victim. Corsi tried to victimize me by making himself look like a victim. Trying to make me look like the bad guy. This is the behavior of a narcissist.
No, I wouldn't let you finish because it's clear you're just bullshitting.
No, he's not.
Well, that was funny. I don't think it doesn't follow.
It does.
Okay. The whole time he kept on flip-flopping, right?
No, he didn't.
I couldn't even tell. Yeah. I couldn't tell if it did follow. He just was going off so fast. I didn't know.
I will admit this. Corsi was giving like the 1 minute rundown because he's practiced this in order to deliver it very, very quickly. And he was trying to get a lot of information out very, very fast. So I'll get that, but fuck Darth and what Darth wants.
No, he wanted to gish Gallop like that, machine gun talk, so that I would serve him.
No.
And by the way, he's good friends with J.L. Warren.
What? When did I come into this conversation?
They're both bisexuals.
It's like, what? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Like what?
Admitted so. That's not.
It's because because I know who I am. I'm bisexual, and I think Corsi's gay. I don't think Corsi's bi. I don't want to make the assumption, but I'm pretty sure Corsi's gay. Corsi's gay and I'm bi. I'm pretty sure. I know I'm bi.
Private information. That's public information.
Well, you're not. Duh.
Gee, what a coincidence that we have male bisexuals that are they're atheists.
Ah, there we go. There we go with the homophobia.
What a coincidence.
But there could be smart bisexuals, right?
Corsi's back. Here.
Oh,
He's back.
So Corsi, telling us about the quantum realm, it doesn't follow from that what is fundamental to everything is not God.
Yeah, Boomer. Boomer's in the house. Good to see you, Boomer. Another member of the Godless Army says, JL, unironically rent-free. Absolutely, dude. I am rent-free. I am so far from this conversation. I wasn't even on Discord at the time when this went down, and bam, there you go. So yeah, I still have my little space in the corner. It's getting crowded in that. It's getting crowded in there. It really is. It's getting really crowded. And I want to talk to the landlord. The conditions are abominable.
Okay.
Does God not exist in the quantum realm?
Oh, great question.
Does God not? Yeah, God does not exist within any realm. God.
Done. We win. We win. You just did it for us, Darth. Much appreciated. Let's hear it again.
God does not exist within any realm. God.
And this one's even better. He says that
God simply exists within his own attributes.
What does that even mean? God exists within his own attributes. We got to hear it again. I know exactly where to go back. Here we go. 929.
God does not exist within any realm. God simply exists within his own attributes.
What? Thank you, Tom Rabbit. Thank you, Tom Rabbit. What the fuck does that even mean? I can't eat. I can't. I'm at a loss.
Does God not have any effect in the quantum realm? God cannot control the quantum realm.
First of all, what I believe about God at this juncture is not relevant to your making your case that the not God world is.
Oh, boom! Push him over. Yep. I want your burden of. You got the burden of proof. I'm asking you a question. Well, what I believe doesn't matter. Fuck you, Darth.
True. Giving me a filibustering Gish Gallop machine talking.
I'm giving you an answer.
Okay,
you calling it Gish Galloping doesn't work. Answer my question.
Oh, of course.
I just explained to you what I believe at this particular juncture is not germane to you defending the existence of the not God world.
Bullshit. And Alpha K91 is right. Duck, dodge, dip, dive, and Darth. Very, very true. Very true. Sean Alexander, Peter Griffin. The Godfather insists upon itself, whatever that means. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Now, God, okay, do you agree with the definition where
No,
God
you're going to answer my question. Does God have no effect upon the quantum realm?
It's irrelevant.
No,
it is absolutely relevant. Answer the question.
No, it is not.
Answer
what you're doing,
the question.
Do I have to serve? Do I have
to go one-on-one with me? You're going to start answering questions, not just asking
this
them.
is the
question, Darth. You're not answering the question because you know what the answer is.
Okay, listen to me carefully.
And it doesn't favor you.
Please do not overtalk me. Okay. Now
you muted me by overtalking me. I don't get you want to be disrespectful to me. You get the same in return. Okay. You want to start being respectful.
Do you know
why? Conversation.
Do you know why I muted you?
Because you're a dick. Randolph says there's no difference between implicit and explicit. Randolph. I swear the shit that comes out of this man's mouth. This boy child, this man child, the shit that comes out of his mouth is just astounding. Just call me obvious as quantum realm, which can be influenced by human interactions. Does that make us God? Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Yes, Chris Durham, this Darth Idjit is a waste of time. Why does anybody even give him the time of day? Very true. Very true. A lot of us have just given up. Personally, I myself, I wanted to do this because I wanted to show this because Corsi did such a fantastic job. But I've lost pretty much interest in Darth ever since his T-Rexes were on the Ark argument. So, yeah.
Because I was answering your question, you wanted to correct me, but I wasn't even finished answering your question.
Okay. Everyone in the room after you left was laughing
No,
at
they
what you were
weren't.
saying about how profoundly stupid it was.
Only Rami was talking.
They just that's because they don't understand it, and neither do you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, does
Corsi,
God have no effect on the quantum realm?
Okay.
Did God not create the quantum realm?
Okay.
Because
Corsi,
if God created the quantum realm, that means he affects the quantum realm. If he affects the quantum realm, then his abilities still affect the quantum realm.
They do.
If they still affect the quantum realm, the double slit experiment and Heisenberg's uncertainty principle will not work the way they do in the real world.
We got it, Corsi. You got to stop, man. Like, stop.
Okay, all right, listen. Okay, let me explain something to you.
Bingo.
When we invoke the word God, we're defining the word God, meaning that which is ultimate and the source of all possibility. Okay? So in other words, God is defined as what is eternal.
Just call me Avi. JL realizes he could be God. Lightning bolt, as opposed to solving world hunger, climate change, and immortality. I'd rather just throw lightning bolts. You have to admit, throwing lightning bolts is pretty fucking cool. You have to admit. And yeah, still trying to answer the question, but Darth won't have it. John Rapp. Of course, he stay on script and stop interrupting me over talking you. Absolute Darth delusions.
And the source and basis of temporality. Okay? Do you agree with that definition?
I'm ignoring your answers until you answer my question.
You see, this is why. You see, this is why.
You answer
please
my
don't
question.
overtalk me.
You don't want to answer it, and I know why you don't want to answer it.
Okay, listen, you're doing shtick now, Corsi. This is embarrassing. Okay.
Yes, it is embarrassing for you. Answer the goddamn question.
Okay, Corsi, I know you want to record this for
I'm not recording anything. I could give a shit less about you.
Corsi, this is what we call atheist shtick. One of the tricks
and this is
that
what
they
we call Christian shtick.
Please do not overtalk.
Okay, don't answer any.
No, I wasn't badgering anything. Okay, again, appealing to temporal states. Okay,
which is not what Corsi was doing.
Will not get you to say there's no God. Okay, you would have to, in order to demonstrate that God does not exist.
Okay.
In order to
Are
say
you done filibustering when muting me, so
I didn't even finish. I don't want to have to server mute you again, and if I do it again, it will be because you want it to be done, because you're going to be over talking. Now,
he clearly doesn't care about rational dialogue.
No,
I
he
do
doesn't
care about rational dialogue.
Would you please? Okay, I'll tell you one more time. I'll say one more time. I really do not want to server mute you, so please don't overtalk me. Okay. Now, God is in the category of what is ultimate, from which all things derive and depend. Okay. The only way that you can show that which is ultimate does not exist is you're either going to have to show what is ultimate that negates God.
That's bullshit.
Or you're going to have to make an argument that nothing ultimate can exist, thereby excluding God. Making making a Gish Gallop. Well, you're making a category error. You can't appeal to the nature of temporal states as a defeater for something that is ultimate, the source and basis of temporal states.
So, yeah, Darth's talking about ontology at this point. And, hey, Second Best Bob is in the house, another member of the Godless Army. Good to see you, Second Best Bob. Thank you so much for being here.
Temporal states do not determine what is ultimate.
We're talking epistemology and ontology here. So you're referring to ontology. And yes, but Corsi was talking about epistemology because you asked him a question about his epistemology.
What is ultimate determines what is temporal or derivative. Okay? Now, so since God is defined within the category of what is ultimate, meaning all things that are not itself derive and depend upon it, which would be temporal or contingent states, appealing to contingent states will not provide you with a defeater for what is ultimate.
Get on with it, Darth. Ask the question.
Now, I want to know what is it that is ultimate that is not God, therefore being a defeater for God's existence?
Notice how he asked that. What is it that would be a defeater for it? Okay. He's asking, essentially, he's asking about the ontology of like everything. What is the ontology of like everything, of on like reality, that which binds everything? The way I come down to it, we can't possibly know that. And there's no evidence to point to any one particular thing that may or may not be ultimate, because we don't have the data set in order to make that conclusion. What they are essentially saying is that because we have nothing there's just question marks all around it. Say like the circle is everything, where did all this everything come from? What holds it in place? What, allows for the local uniformity, or I would say the structure of everything. Then what instantiates that? Like what literally binds it all together? They're saying it's God, but they can't demonstrate how they know that to be true, except for appealing towards magical thinking, they say special revelation. Well, that can't be transmitted to a second person, so that's not good evidence because it's only to them. How do we know? How have they eliminated the possibility that they hallucinated it? That's that problem there. And then, of course, they appeal to natural revelation, that everything is evidence for God. This, of course, is a logical error, because if everything in existence is evidence for God, then nothing is not existence for God. Basically, everything is P. There is no Q. So, P is equal to P. P is not equal to not P. So, technically, P is equal to P. P is not equal to not P. If everything is P, then there is no not P. We can make no distinction. This is a violation of the law of identity. But Darth, if you try to go along these lines, Darth will then question how you're able to reason, and he'll push it towards the solipsism thing. So he's got all these areas that he can push you to. So
I don't have to define that. I haven't made the accusation that something is an ultimate.
And yes, of course, he's right on that. He is not making an assertion that there is an ontological necessity or anything ontologically necessary or anything metaphysically necessary. Darth is assuming that there is, and it must be God, or you have to assert something different for God because God is defined in a particular way. Essentially, Darth, or because he's Van Tillian inspired, Greg Bonson and shit like that, Darth is defining God into existence. That is all Darth is doing. Because I have given these attributes, because I have given this is the definition of God, this makes it real. And that's not the way it works. And of course, he did a brilliant job of basically giving Darth enough rope to hang himself.
I have not made the accusation that something isn't an ultimate. You have. That puts you.
Is God in the category definitionally? Is God in the category definitionally of what is ultimate?
Maybe not.
According to you, yes. But
no.
You have now made that accusation. You have now made that assertion. I expect you.
Yes, he makes the assertion that God is in the category of that which is metaphysically primary, of that which is metaphysically necessary. Demonstrate how you know this to be true. This is where you get into the circular reasoning. And then Darth will simply try to say that there's a difference between virtuous circularity and vicious circularity. And he thinks that there's this big thing. Because it's virtuous circularity, that means it's okay. But it's not. As my good friend Jack Burton stated, and I think this is one of my favorite things, one of my absolute favorite ones, is that the difference between vicious and virtuous circularity is that if you imagine two circles, and in one circle it says, I really love doing meth, so I work hard at my job to make more money so I can buy more meth. And in the other circle it says, I really fucking love doing meth, so I work really hard at my job so I make more money so I can buy more meth. Which one is virtuous and which one is vicious? That's essentially what Darth is doing. And so his whole virtuous circularity, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't get you out of it. Is the problem? So Corsi knows that his whole thing goes to circular reasoning and begging the question. There's the only two outcomes.
Corsi, you've been hanging around,
an honest person and an honest debater, to demonstrate that it is true.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, what you're doing is a classic bait and switch. Okay.
No, you're baiting and switching.
Okay. If you persist in over talking me, I will server mute you. Okay. Being belligerent is simply shtick. Okay.
Like it's some punishment to be server muted by Darth. Fuck, it's a goddamn badge of honor.
Okay. I've dealt with you before. I've dealt with other people. This is what you want, so you can get out of jail, get a get out of jail free card. Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop right there. The moment the instant you server muted me while I was mid answering your first question, took away any respect that I have for not interrupting you or any general polite discourse. You can apologize for doing that now, and we'll go back to being polite.
No, because the answer you were giving,
yourself,
you know. Okay, go back.
All interactions with Darth should end like that. Go fuck yourself, scumbag. Oh, I love Corsi so much. He's such a great dude.
Back to your furry costumes and your homosexual acts. By the way, did you guys know he's a furry? By the way,
what does it have to do with the price of anything anywhere? It's ridiculous.
That's not an insult. He has told other people that he has homosexual contacts with other men and they dress up in furry costumes.
That's his prerogative. It doesn't make your God any less untrue. It doesn't make your God any less undemonstratable. It's a fucking, it's literally, it's both an ad hom and a straw man.
Okay.
That's tough. He sounds a.
This is why I listen to the Darth Show. This shit's hilarious.
I mean, I can't believe you deal with this all the time, though. This is horrible.
Well, this is atheist shtick. It's just put on a show. Does anybody think that right now he's angry with me?
No, he's not.
Look, he was trying to win an Emmy Award. That was all a performance. Okay? This is what atheists do. When they get confronted, they'll give a Gish Gallop response. When you
I love how he continues to run his mouth regarding like, oh, a Gish Gallop response, blah, blah, blah. But he hasn't like knocked down anything of what, of course, he said. Obviously, he didn't hear most of what he said. He probably is aware of the argument because he's heard it before. But he hasn't knocked any of it down. He just, oh, no, that's wrong. Category error, because I defined it in such a way that it cannot be defined. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, Darth. Sorry.
tried to respond, showing them that the response that they give was not actually substantive. It's mostly rhetorical. They then do the classic bait and switch and say, prove you're God, prove you're God. Everybody see the routine that they pull?
Yeah, that's what happens.
This is a common tactic.
Aaron Reese. Some people fear their kids will become furries because it's weird. I'm literally just worried I can't afford the costuming fees. I once saw one that was a dragon, like full on wings, hardcore. It was amazing. Some of the what they put together is just it's awesome. Homosexual contacts with other men. Are there more options for homosexual contacts? If you're a man, I'm not. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I think he was just mentioning plot hole. Whereas DD sits in his dirty tidy whities in mommy's basement waiting for his din-dins. This is true. Yes, Riddick. Darth is simply gross, disgusting, lying, bloviating puke. This is true. Just call me off. He would like to remind Aaron, the suit doesn't kill you. It's the dry cleaning.
Where they bait and switch, where they say, you're the one making the claim. You prove you're God. I didn't make any claims to him. All I just said to ask him.
It's because you'll never make a claim, Darth, because you know you can't defend it.
Was to explain his atheism. So how do we get from him defending his atheism to what I believe? Not that I shy away in defending my view, but this was all an attempt to win an Oscar nomination, right? Ranting and raving 1 million words a minute about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, quantum mechanics, right? He knows this is bull.
Hey, Logical Hillbilly's in the house. Good to see you, another member of the Godless Army. Thanks so much. It says, Mom, more Hot Pockets. Gary.
Bullshit. Okay. I
always imagine that his house is like, like the movie Willard. His mom like up in the bed, just Gary. It's like, know
of any leading atheists who would say something that stupid. I don't even know teenagers that would say such a stupid thing.
I fucking love Tom Rabbit. Tom is amazing. Tom is straight brilliant. Oh, he's so good. He's so very, very good. Oh, I love him so much. So yeah, that was good, and that's going to be my new ringtone, I promise. But yeah, Randolph says, "Wait, what? People can get Emmy awards for speaking of Darth Dawkins? Where do I apply?" Damn straight. So yeah, that was a wonderful, wonderful little vid that that I thought was just absolutely terrific. Where was this? Let me see here. Oh, that was that one. I was hoping that that Johnny would be up here real quick. He messaged me. I think he may be. John Raps, Darth's never made more sense. This is very true. This is very, very true. So Johnny was at the gym. So Johnny was at the gym when I initially sent him the invite, but apparently, he wasn't able to come. I don't know if he's about to come on. I'm hoping he will, because I saw that somebody was asking if he was able to come up here. But I guess he has the invite. He has the invite in there. Randolph says it's not the philosophical. He was talking about. H. Jasper says, "Thanks, JL's laugh brought me down quickly." It's absolutely ridiculous. Yes, he is absolutely. It's like, why? What are you doing, dude? So, but yeah, that's the whole big thing essentially is like looking at what is this? Peter, that's fantastic. He sent me a picture of real pic of Darth in his basement. That's funny. That's really good. Hang on a sec. A real pic of Darth in his basement. That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, Johnny's probably gonna be buff. He's trying to buff up. So, but that was when that DOI that came across that I linked, that DOI that I shared in there essentially is where that came down to looking at the implications of God having specific attributes, and that what would that mean if you knew everything and you knew it infallibly? That was what was problematic. And when I started presenting this, it took a lot of Christians, or it took a lot of these people a while to jump onto this whole thing. Well, you're thinking of omniscience incorrectly. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand what they're trying to do. The way I look at omniscience is I go by the etymological approach of it. You can break it down. There's essentially two words there. There's omni and there's shens, which is essentially this is all knowledge. So is what it's referring to. So you break that down as all knowledge, all knowing, or omniscience. I think the two are interchangeable. And because it's God, and God is supposedly a morally perfect being, then essentially he knows everything infallibly. So it doesn't matter if you say he knows all true propositions, doesn't matter like that. The whole point is if it's true, then it corresponds to reality. So my philosophy of truth is the correspondent. I hold to the correspondence theory of truth, pillared by the coherence and pragmatic, because inquiry is very, very important. We must be able to inquire. We must be able to ask questions. We must be able to investigate. We must be able to experiment. Inquiry is extremely apparent. So you think of mine as like, here's the correspondence theory of truth. That which corresponds with reality is true. And then of course it's pillared by coherence, and then of course propped up by coherence, and of course pragmatic, because you must be willing to ask questions. And then of course you must have at least the ability to say I don't know, because some things we don't know. If you look at like the incompleteness theorems, there's some stuff that we don't know, and there's stuff that we can't know, that we can't ever know. Heck, there's information. As far as like the way the universe is expanding, eventually there'll be a certain point where, there is a field out there where we'll never have knowledge because that light will never reach us. So there's stuff out there we will never see, just because, unless of course we break the light barrier or whatever. But the light barrier in a vacuum. Sorry, I need to specify because technically light can be broken if it's slow. It can be slowed down in a medium, but in a vacuum, that's pretty much the speed limit on the universe. Alf Kano said, "Oh, so that was Ugly was just who got pilloried? Just my pillar, the pillars holding up my theory of truth." Aaron Reese says, "God is a turtle on his back, and we're all on his belly. We think he's shepherding us, but in reality, the poor bastard's just trying to roll back over." That's hilarious. Apathetic says, "Here's Darth each night when he realizes he literally has nothing left in his life." Oh, he's sharing something with me. So apathetic gay primate just sent me something. Said, "Here's Darth each night when he realizes he has literally nothing left in his life." Nothing left in his life. Nothing at all. That's it. Yeah, sorry, Darth. You got nothing. Nothing at all. Oh, thank you so much. Second best Bob for £5 says, "It's nearly midnight here. I have got to work tomorrow. Let's do the rest then." Love you, JL. Love you too. Second best Bob. Hope you get some good rest. I really do appreciate the support. Thank you very, very much. All right. So hopefully Johnny will be here shortly. You know what? I'm going to message him right quick. Let's see if he's there. What is this? Just call me out. He says, Dawkins argued that God was real, but the occult was nonsense. The occult is older than the Christian God, which in turn is a byproduct of the Bible. Yeah, they don't really. He doesn't think about the entailments of what it is. He basically poses shit that comes off the top of his head, and not to mention the fact that Darth Dawkins is a salad bar Christian. The vast majority of these kinds of people are salad bar Christians. They take what they want and they leave the rest because the other stuff it's kind of like, it's very much like philosophy in the sense that a lot of people fall into a philosophical mindset or a philosophical field of, area of thought that kind of conforms to what they want to be true. So it's kind of like, this is what I like. This is what feels right to me. And this school of thought and philosophy kind of backs that up. So I want to jump into it. But if I find stuff within that school of thought that I disagree with, then I'll just ignore that and I'll go somewhere else. And it's just picking and choosing what you like. I find that happens a lot, very, very much. That no one just grabs one and just stays in it. It just sticks in it. It just doesn't happen. So, I said I was going to message Johnny. Betting says, embarrassing claw was designed by DD. God 4K. Ghosting required to save face, but to do is arrogant. Suit Kettle says, ask Johnny about the Powell and Peel picture sent him. I want to see that. I will ask him. If he comes on, I will definitely ask him. Aaron Reese, DD is the kind of guy that saves on porn by jerking off while looking in a mirror. Gross. Oh, that's just terrifying. That is just terrifying. Ugly German Truth says, I heard that described as cafeteria Christians, picking and choosing from the menu. Yeah, absolutely. Or like Luby's Christians. Furs Christians. Yeah, like those little, those kind of like, those buffet or cafeteria. Buffet Christians. So, but yeah, absolutely. Just picking and choosing what they like. That's where Little Wolf says, poor mirror. Absolutely. So I'm really, Johnny is hopping out of the shower. Oh, getting cleaned up for me. No one wants to see that. Sean Alexander says, I don't see Darth as a Christian. He just uses Christianity to hide behind as a justification for his hatred and vitriol. He does. He absolutely does. Oh, man. So it looks like Johnny's going to be joining me here in just a moment. Let me look for... was something else that I came around. Thank you to Team. I got to bring it back. Thank you to Team for getting me to download Opera GX. This browser is freaking amazing. I absolutely love it. And I love the pin capability where you can, you have pin boards to pull stuff up where I can basically save the links for all the videos I'm going to be doing. It makes it so much easier. It really, really does. I really dig this one. Got several videos on here that I plan on going after. While we're waiting on Johnny, let me see if I can find. Here we go. Let's take a look. No, I don't want to do that one. I want to find. Someone shared it with me. Who was it who shared it with me? Oh, that's the new emoji. Oh no, that's the new emoji. I shared it over there with Aaron Reese. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because Darth has been hiding. Oh yeah, I just saw another message. Darth has been hiding over on the Veritas server. So that's essentially what we got. Because he's back on Discord because Clubhouse has pretty much just kicked him off. So he's hiding in the Veritas server. I popped over to the Veritas server for and I think I was in there 3 seconds before Darth booted me. Like I popped into Veritas, 3 seconds later I was banned, and I can't. I'm blocked out of that place now. Yes, his options. Yes, you're right, Randolph. His options for gamers too to control CPU and memory use on a per tab basis. I really like it. I love it. I got to thank him for doing that. It's made organizing my shit way better. Opera GX. I highly recommend it. I don't have I didn't pay for anything like that. I'm just using the free version, but the free version is amazing. I don't think you even need any more than that. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, wait, no, that's Crochet Face. I don't want to see Crochet Face. That's freaky. Crochet Face is a freaky one. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Was it the gig one? Was it? No, that wasn't that. Oh, I wanted to. While we're waiting for Johnny, I wanted to show you this. I don't know where it might be. There's so much funny shit that I get. What's this? Aaron Reese says no. Aaron Reese says no, he's talking about Aaron Reese. Oh, he needs a better better mirror setup. I know it's here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry. You have to bear with me while we're waiting for Johnny. I love that. I love that ape. That's fantastic. Let's see. It was in the state of Tennessee because that's Juliet. No, here we go. This is it. I wanted to share this. Here we go. While he is here. So in case anybody hadn't seen this one. Oh, this one's funny too. I will share this. Ape just sent me this. Sometimes people just don't know what to see, don't want to see what's in front of them. Ape is great. Good, great stuff. Here we go. I'm going to share this. Oh, Opera tab. There we go. And here we go. Oh, it's the full one. This is them rolling up. Take it easy, AJ. Have a great evening. Thank you so much for coming in. This is the dude we talked about earlier. I'm excited. I'm excited. I would be excited too. Look at that. Look at that kind of ambiance. Like they're like what they're walking into. It's so creepy. This is like something out of a horror movie. This is creepy.
Yeah, it's down there on a projector.
That's them playing. Playing on. I think it was Harry Potter, is what I heard. Kicking beer cans. Huh. Oh, so out there, yeah, probably out there drinking their Natty Light. That is so creepy. Look at that. Yes, Chris Durham. This is the dude who trolled the book burning. He is walking up on the book burning as we speak. So this is him walking up to him, and so that's him right there. He's walking up.
Yeah. Keeping my copy of Darwin's Origin of Species at Fahrenheit 451. Praise Satan. Hail Satan. Hail to his strength and power.
That man said, I am keeping my copy of Darwin's Origin of Species and my copy of Fahrenheit 451. This dude is legend. I wish I could have him on the show. This dude is fantastic. And they cheered at first.
And I'm immune to your rebuke. Hail Satan! In the name of Jesus Christ. Are you really? Yeah. I did what I gotta do. I got the Bible. Hey, you got it. Okay, go. Walk it out of my face. Go. In the name of Jesus Christ. Go. This is my crime. Go. In the name of Jesus Christ. Go right now. Right now. Get out of here. Hail Satan. You need prayer, brother.
No, he doesn't. But see, this is where, right there, when they were going like, oh, in the name of Jesus Christ, the power of Christ compels you. So when they were doing that, if this were me, I would have stayed put. Because by leaving, they think that there's like, Jesus Christ compels you, and then you're walking away. That's empowering them. But they just start yelling in the name of Christ, like, in the name of Jesus Christ, go away or leave or something like this, and you don't leave. That hurts. That literally shows them that what you're saying has no power. So I would say just to show them that they would. I mean, if the cop showed up and it would be like, "Hey, you need to go," I'd be like, "You got it, man. I'm in the car. I'm out. Here's my license. I'm identifying myself. Here we go." And then we would have left without incident. The only incident that would have been caused would have been them. But that's just me. That's just how I would have played it because I'm a bit more, confrontational when it comes to shit like this.
Hail Satan, brother! Hail Satan! Woo! Hail Satan!
Come on, brother. Let's go.
Hail Satan! Get out of here! Get out of here! Hail Satan! Our Lord and Savior!
They're so mad.
He rules this earth! Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Hail Satan! In the name of Jesus Christ, you can be free. In the name of Jesus Christ, I flee your demon and rebuke you.
I rebuke you.
You're lost.
You're lost.
Hey, get out of here, buddy. You made my day. You have no idea. You have no idea. Hey, come back. We'll stay.
So Roden says you'd open yourself up to a potential criminal trespassing charge, though. I am okay. It's not like I'd ever be going back. They were doing this maybe once, and I don't know if they're going to do it again, and I would have no problem with that. A criminal trespass is not going to take any money out of my pocket. It's just going to be them giving me a ticket, and if I go back on there, then I'm in violation of that, and then I would end up going to court. But if they just hit me with a criminal trespass, then that's fine. It's like, here you go. And then, of course, I don't even live in the state of Tennessee, so whatever. So yeah, just I would be violating law if I went back onto the premises, but I wouldn't be doing that again because this would be a one-off. So I wouldn't be worrying about it. But that's just me. So let me make sure I make that very clear. That's me. So I mean, because whatever. I'm not recommending anybody go and try to confront people. I'm not recommending anybody go and do this stuff. If you do, take precautions. Know the laws of the jurisdiction that you're in, and that's essentially all it is. Don't start shit, and if they start crap, then there you go. Oh, look who has arrived! Bam, Mr. O. He's showing me his Johnny O face.
Oh, Jesus. Is this the guy that trolled the book burning?
He threw the Bible in the bonfire. And then he yelled,
new hero.
He yelled, "I'm keeping my copy of Darwin's Origin of Species in Fahrenheit 451. I was like, you are a legend, sir.
The funny thing was, like when that douchebag Locke was ranting about, we watched his video, right? He was ranting about how you come, anybody's welcome to come. We'll make fight. We ain't gonna be all violent to them. And then the second this guy shows up and throws the Bible, they're not exactly non-violent to this guy.
Yeah, they're not.
They're extremely aggressive.
They're very aggressive, extremely aggressive, especially after he gets in the car and he's closed the door, and like the options for like throwing fists have pretty much been eliminated. So, it was like, oh, now it can be as gross as we want because he's not going to swing us because he's in the car, and then so on and so forth. So they wait for their opportunity.
We buy right now. Yep, even your dogs are getting delivered.
Yeah, right. Hey, Chris, you're all insane.
Give me a kiss.
Fuck you. I used to be a Christian. You want to hear my story? I went to a church called Clear Note. It's called Trinity Reformed in Bloomington, Indiana now. I was a faithful husband and father. They stole my 5 children. They are evil and satanic. All of you people are satanic. You are Satan. You are Satan. You are Satan. My father's a minister. You are Satan. You are Satan.
What? Was that hissing?
I like it.
It was like,
yeah.
I'm imagining in his position, like what he was dealing with is most likely because he's because I think that was his boyfriend or possibly his husband is in the passenger seat, was with him, so he didn't go out there alone. But obviously, if there was a situation at church that they turned his children, or they had the indoctrination and basically turned his children against him, that when he came out, that his children like just turned on him, and now he's lost contact with them because of their religious indoctrination.
Right.
Which, that shit just breaks my heart. But him dealing with that.
It's gonna be funny when you all die and there's nothing. Enjoy the void, your worthless fucking lives. Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Hail Satan, motherfucker!
Just riding the horn all the way out.
I mean, this is what you open yourself up to when you're Greg Locke. I'm not necessarily saying that, whatever. I believe whatever the hell you want to believe. I don't give two shits. None of my business, none of my care, right? But when you're an asshole like Greg Locke, you invite this type of shit.
And if Greg Locke said it's open to everyone can come, then if that's on the record,
yeah.
If that's on the record, then he's.
Yep. He put that out there. He's on his whatever, I don't know what the Pal Talk or the hell he's on, whatever he's not, kicked off from, whatever social media bullshit he put out, that he said all are welcome. We're gonna have ourselves a good old buck barn. Everybody can come out. So there, I mean, like I said, he invited everybody, so anybody's going to show up. And when they asked those guys to leave, they were already on their way out. So, so he did not trespass.
So if I, like I said, I don't know if you agree with that, but I straight up, Ugly German Truth says, what are you watching on Netflix there?
That's not Netflix. That's that film that I've been working on.
That you're editing.
Yeah.
So in my case, I was saying if I went out there and did that, if I happened to be in Tennessee and go out there and do the same thing, and this guy, I wouldn't even had a thought to be like origin of species, Fahrenheit 451. That was inspired.
Yeah.
So, but I would have stayed because they're yelling at him in my mind, they're yelling at him like, in the name of Jesus Christ, the power of Christ compels you. So they're going after him like that, and he's leaving, which is fine. I mean, it's like that, but
yeah,
that's essentially saying, I'm using Christ and I'm making you go away. I would have just stood there.
Well, but here's the thing, right? So those guys were in danger, right? That was a very volatile situation, and we don't want to throw gas on a fire there.
Very, very poor choice of words.
Very poor choice of words. But no, they were in a very volatile situation. We all know how awesome, like rampant. Am I going through the right mic? I don't know.
It sounds like your mic is far away.
Does it? Hang on a second. We'll fix that. The stupid thing always changes.
Changes.
Oh, stupid.
How's that? Is that better?
Oh, perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, sounds great.
There we go. But they were in a volatile situation. We all know how mob mentality can take over, even at a quote, just good old Christian event, and we're just going to burn some books,
Good old Christian burning event.
Good old Christian burning of the books and whatnot. We're just going to do that today. Okay, all right.
That dangerous knowledge.
Yeah.
The devil's words.
The devil's put words to paper. So they did need to leave. They needed to get out of there because, again, that could have turned extremely violent, extremely quick. They did what they wanted to do. They accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, and they made their point, and it was a good one. Like I said, whatever, like Christianity, be Christian, be not. What I don't give. That's who cares. But when you do these types of things, when you're a right winger, you're right wing Christian, and you hate fascists and fascism, don't do fascist things.
It follows. It kind of follows.
Yeah. I just yes, Chris Durham, it was a Windows update and it changed all my settings because this is what Windows does. Windows thinks it knows better than I do, but no. Yeah, so again, they needed to get out of there. Method, Angus Nutter getting burned at the stake with a big barrel of gunpowder under your yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's one way to that's one way to handle it.
Everybody
You're all coming with me.
You got to all meet Jesus.
Oh man. Oh, see, that was wild. And of course, earlier we were talking about I showed everybody the newest Tom video where Tom
all I heard was like the Darth Dawkins I got to get that. I got to clip that. Okay, because that is hilarious.
Do you want me to share that video with you?
Yeah, send that to me because I'm going to clip just that little bit.
I'm going to share that to you. I'll upload that and Tom, everyone's just like, just make it your new ringtone.
I mean, I'm going to do something with it for certain. Yeah.
There we go. And there you go. So yeah, Corsi was bringing up because Darth asked Corsi about epistemology, and Corsi was giving him the is Alpha who's gonna say Alpha K91's gonna Alpha K91 have a good one.
See ya.
Have a great night. See ya.
Bye.
So, but yeah, he basically Darth did his usual shit where he basically asked Corsi about his epistemology and then tried to switch it over to ontology in the middle of the whole thing. And then because he thinks that epistemology, or I think he argued once that epistemology and ontology are interchangeable, and they're reliant upon one another. That you can't make epistemological claims without understanding or knowing what the ontology of the thing is. Look on your face is brilliant.
Look, I only have like 2 years of
I don't have the face palm thing. It's so stupid.
I wasn't a philosophy major, okay, so I only had to take 2 philosophical courses in my collegiate career that dealt specifically in philosophy. Now we talked about it. It's just wrong.
It's wrong. Balls out wrong. So
the pen is royal blue. God,
so man. Honestly, I think I fell off the Darth wagon. I think, I'm pretty much done when he went into his whole like T-Rexes on the Ark thing. So when he tried to just, he's like, when he said that, I was like, all right, dude, you
were already digging a hole in your credibility well. Okay.
I didn't know if there's any credibility left.
Dynamite down that motherfucker.
There is no more credibility left for this. What was it? You saw Joe's apartment, right? I'm sorry. There's not going to be any rock and roll tonight. This is all that's left. There will be no philosophical argumentation tonight. This is all that's left.
Dinosaurs on the Ark. You can't even
specifically T-Rexes. T-Rexes were on the Ark.
You can't even prove that the Ark was real, let alone that there are fucking dinosaurs on there.
Even the Institute for Creation Research has stated unequivocally that the Ark has not been found and most likely will never be found. So anybody's attempt.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right? Think about this. Let's look about this logically. Okay, for the sake of argument, for the sake of this conversation, let's say that the Ark was real. Like the whole story of the Ark is real. Okay.
Okay.
What happens when all the water goes away and you need to build something? What are you going to use? Maybe the wood from the goddamn Ark that you were just floating on.
Oh, there's a munchkin.
Yeah, she's a munchkin. No, that's not a black eye. She's got makeup on. That's the wrong finger. Oh, your hands are cold. Yeah. But no, seriously, what would you use? No, you can't have this. No. What would you use? You would use the things that you already have, your resources that were available. So
right.
No, the evidence of the Ark would not be found. It's just even if it were real, it's so stupid.
Oh, people in the chat are talking about Glenn Serio's tights size. I'm telling you,
not tight.
His size, Glenn Serio's pant size is FT for fumigation tent.
Yep. We're men. We're Glenn and tights. I got to share those.
We roam around the city looking for fights. I hope those lyrics that I gave to you, I hope that those help.
It did, actually. I was having difficulty with that line. I was like, man, I don't know what to put there. So everything else is kind of easy, right? It just wrote itself. Now I just got to like record it and sing it. I don't know if anybody really wants to hear me sing, but we'll see what happens.
Ugly German Jew says, or it would be the one logical place to make vegetation grow again after every other bit of green stuff was miles deep under salt water for 10 months.
Yeah, it would make a great hanging gardens. It would make a great greenhouse. But yeah.
Ugly German Jew says it should be 18 for almost a full Alaska.
I like how somebody said his size is 10 to.
Oh, fantastic stuff. So Little Wolf says, what about Alaska?
Alaska is a great state.
It's a great state. Fantastic state. And comparable square mileage to Glenn Serio's pants.
Adam, no verifiable evidence has been found of the Ark anywhere.
Yeah.
There have been conjecture. There have been people who say that it has been found, but when they actually go back and look at the evidence doesn't say what these people have claimed it says. Like I said, the vast majority of religious scholars will agree that, or Christian religious scholars will agree that the Ark has never been found. It wouldn't be found. I mean, think about it. You're talking about a 2,000-year-old boat.
Well, it's it's also like those that claim that like the pieces of the cross have been found, like the actual cross that he was crucified on.
It's not like they use it's like a one and done thing. No, they fucking reuse them things. Okay.
Typically, they hung him up there until from my understanding of just studying the Roman Empire, what they typically did is if you got crucified, you were left up there until you fell, until your body just until you died, you decomposed, you fell off because you were a warning to everybody else.
Yeah, like it was more than just a punishment. It was
right.
Hey, there's a sign. It was a billboard. This is what happens if you fuck around. You get to like this guy over here. Yeah,
just like after the Third Servile War. The one where Spartacus was defeated, they crucified like 5,000 people along the Appian Way, and the main trade route into Rome. And then the whole intention of that was to show everybody that this is what happens when you rise up against Rome. And they just crucified everybody along the Appian Way, and that's like 5,000 people, and they just left them there to go. Well, where did all those? And that was on a main thoroughfare. Where did all those crosses go? Well, really simple. When they die and they fall down, you probably reuse that thing.
Yeah.
So,
but
Aaron Reese, the arc attraction roof leaks. Good luck making that son of a bitch float. Dude, did you hear the arc attraction lit up? The arc attraction lit up its lights the color of the Bengals.
What? Why?
Because I guess they support the Bengals.
But they're in Kentucky.
Let me see here. 1 sec. Arc attraction Bengals lights. You'll see a lot of orange around Cincinnati this weekend.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the Arc encounter.
Thought that was in Kentucky.
I'm pretty sure it is, but I guess they're Cincinnati fans.
Cincinnati Bengals fans, because Kentucky and Ohio is the same thing. Root for who you want to. I don't care. Do you?
There you go.
I can't believe they swindled the state of Kentucky to build this thing. Hey guys, we're gonna build a giant wooden boat. Like, why? We're Kentucky. You see any place for this? No, it's going to be on land.
Tri-state attraction show support for the Bengals.
That's an attraction?
Apparently.
An eyesore, but that is.
Must see is located at Tranquility Court. It's decked out in Bengals spirit. A lot of Bengals love there. Houday, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, and there it is. Yes, to help Arc Encounter, to help cheer on the Bengals, the Arc Encounter, which is located just south of Cincinnati, is lit in the team's color this week as they enter the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, that's another one that always found hilarious. Like all these God-fearing Christians are all, oh, Jesus and this, that, and the other, and I want to pray for the Dallas Cowboys so they do well and beat them terrible San Francisco 49ers. Like, if God is real, why is he going to pick the Cowboys over the 49ers? Or vice versa, or any other fucking team.
Oh, well, I can see back then because Joe Montana,
Because Joe Montana. It's just come on, man.
Christopher says, "Oh, Bengals! I thought you said the Bengals."
The Bengals, yeah, Cincinnati Bengals. Whatever, but it's kind of fun.
John Alexander said, "I didn't know Jesus was such a fan."
So I'm saying, you know what I mean? It's like, if right, and I pass on and go up there, the pearly gates. The first thing, like if you get like the one question thing, you can ask one question. That's gonna be my question. Who's your favorite sports team? Who's your favorite sports team and why?
Hook 'em horns. Oh shit!
Damn it!
No, it'd most likely be Gig'em.
Oh! Could be Notre Dame.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can see guys. Oh, it's definitely Notre Dame. That Rudy kid, he got me.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a little guy, but couldn't you have made him a bigger guy to do all the things he wanted to do? But he was a little guy. Sean Alexander, you asked a really good question.
Why is God helping a sports team win some game but doing nothing about childhood cancer? That's a damn good question. That's a good question. as Darth would put it, that's an appeal to emotion because it doesn't work the way you want because you think that you would do it better than God.
Yeah, if I gotta say, I would be if I had the ability to do it all. I'd be, you know what? I'm not gonna let kids suffer.
See, this is what's weird. This is what I'm throwing this at you.
Right.
So you take what they claim about God, what essentially their God claim is, right?
Right.
And we are sitting here in the year 2022, and they still maintain that God has these particular attributes and knows these things. Okay. And if God exists, I will agree, Sir Little Wolf. God does love skee ball. I will agree with that, and not just because I'm a Kevin Smith fan. Apparently, if he's a skee ball fanatic, I could just see that. That is a God that I could accept. Is a God that is a skee ball fanatic and then gives away all of his tickets to neighborhood children.
Yep,
I could see that. That is something, but nonetheless, I digress. A logical hillbilly, a blind, crippled monkey can do better than God. Woo, woo, woo. Well,
yes,
that's just about it.
All.
Yes to all. I only want $3. So
10 pounds of the Krispy Kreme diet.
So twisted. So looking at it like this. If you take the attributes that God supposedly has, the attributes that they claim,
the
traditional ones, like all knowing or whatever, like this. So
you got to make sure you got to make like this distinction, the TWC of God, the traditional Western concepts, because there are other attributes and there are other conceptualizations of the God that people don't talk about, because we in the West want to specifically focus on, again, that triune specific concept. Anyway,
right. Well, okay, so we can just go with the all-knowing. Like, God knows me.
Yeah.
Okay, knows everything I'm thinking, knows, my honest positions, knows all this crap. Okay?
Right.
He also knows what I don't know. And he knows the conclusions that I'm coming to if they're real, whatever, because God knows all true propositions, if you want to go on this. So if I'm sitting here and I can come up with a more moral system, or I can look at things in a particular way and be like, this is a way it would be better. We could eliminate this, and it would not harm. Like you could literally just eliminate one thing. You could eliminate bone cancer in children, or in babies. That you could just say, in the system that we live in, the universe we live in, babies are not born with cancer. How about that? Right. That's it. You could get cancer later on. But later on, you don't even have to go that far. Children could get leukemia, but no, babies will never be born with cancer.
Right.
How about that? That's pretty simple. That'd be a simple change, and it wouldn't affect anything because children could still get cancer later on. And we say, as a God, I would at least make, if I was God, I would make that at least one tweak. God knows that I would come up with this, and this system would be better.
Yep.
In just the smallest possible way. The smallest way, babies in utero can never be born with cancer. It's just something that doesn't happen. And I could come up with some sort of, and I could tweak it so it's some sort of genetic thing that they take from their parents, that they're shielded from this kind of thing or whatever. And then when they're born, whatever, we can just do
exactly. That. It would be it'd be a simple change that no one would know was changed because
we would be unaware of it. We would come up with some scientific way of understanding this is the way it is,
right?
Given what we have. So, but if I can come up with this, then God knows that I would come up with this,
right?
God knows the hundreds of millions, if not billions, of human beings before me that came up with way better shit than I ever could, and is aware of all that stuff too. In fact, was aware of it before he ostensibly made them.
Okay. Right.
So if you go by that, then God made them to know these things. Then why does God continue in the position that it is in, knowing that these are the outcomes of its own actions?
Yeah, somebody brings up a good point in the side chat talking about, I hate the whole God is testing you argument. I do too, right? Because that's bullshit. Why are you going to test me with someone else's suffering? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yes, whereas I don't want to see my children suffer because they're my children. I want to see them flourish and get old, and you know what I mean? I would like to pass on way before they do, and But how is it a test of my abilities making someone else suffer? Yeah, I mean, granted, it would be a test of my resilience in the face of that adversity. But why the fuck do my children have to suffer in order for me to pass a test? That makes no sense. That's like saying, "Hey, JL, you have to do this math test. You have to do all this work for math, but Johnny's the one who's being tested." Like,
Right.
What?
It's like, that makes the kind of sense that doesn't.
Yeah, right. You know, well, because of reasons.
Because reasons.
John here has to make sure that he's there for you and helps you with dealing with the adversity of having to make this math test an A.
Thankfully, that one poet created that hymn in the late 18th century that says God moves in mysterious ways. We can just quote that
all the time. You know,
Jack Bird says, just get rid of infant cancer or pedophilia. We could still have plenty of evil, pain, and suffering without one of those. Good point. Good point. That connection in the brain, that very rare connection in the brain that triggers that paraphilia, which is what that is. It's a paraphilia that causes pedophilia. Then yes, just eliminate that. Like put those two areas of the brain like away from each other so that they never link.
Right.
There you go. So that makes sense. Yeah, that's a totally possible thing.
As if it's more of a genetic condition than a God thing.
Yeah. Ugly Germ 2 says, what about the flood? Even turning all wicked humans to dust, Thanos style, without drowning one animal would have been more moral solution to God's problem. Very true, because it wasn't just like all the evil humans or the Nephilim or whatever you want to say that he drowned. He killed every living thing on the earth except for Noah and his menagerie. Anything that didn't make it onto the ark.
Weird. Yeah, people don't realize that. Like, if you think about that story, let's extrapolate the story here for just a second. Noah and the ark. Who was on the ark? Forget all the animals. Right? Fuck the animals. Who cares? What was on the ark? We had Noah's wife, his sons and their wives.
Mm-hmm.
How are we repopulating the earth with one family? We're all going to come out looking like the hills have eyes. Okay? You know, fuck.
Yeah, it's but John Rabb says Sky Daddy made me a sociopath, but wants me to worship him. Bite me.
I mean,
just call me out. He says I'm going to burst a blood vessel with all this overthinking.
It just like I said, it's so stupid. You know, if they stopped and actually thought about the things that they're saying from a logical standpoint, does 1 + 2 equal 7? Well, how can we make it equal 7 without adding anything else?
Right.
Oh wait, we just say
magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, Adam says, how the fuck is it legal to teach mass murder to children from a young age? I would actually say it's not teaching them mass murder. It's teaching them that there is a justification for mass murder.
Yeah.
That in some fairy tale land, this shit is justifiable.
Yep.
And that is what is fucked up. That's what's twisted. It's like it was like mass murder is bad. Mass murder is a thing that we should not allow, which we should not do, and that blah 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 blah. But no, there's a caveat. If it's God doing it, it's okay. Bullshit.
Right.
Isn't that normal in Oklahoma? It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. So. And earlier we were talking about that, and now earlier beforehand, what I started off with basically, Christian nationalism, pushing this whole kind of rhetoric, and there's a lot of conclusions we can come at it. We can come at it from this, and you having kids, and especially grade school kids.
Yep.
Okay, you have 4 of them.
All right.
So my curiosity is this: here in Upper Oklahoma, obviously there was the big thing that just got dropped. There was a whole thing about offending religious sensibility, what the fuck ever that means.
Yeah, kiss my ass.
You heard about the next one, right?
Somebody mentioned something, but I didn't look into it yet. I knew I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any sharp objects around when I did.
Adam said I meant incest is normal there.
You're thinking of ding 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 ding.
I'd like to draw your attention to this bill. It was
this guy. Yeah.
Yes, Forrest Valkai.
Yeah.
I hope to have him on the show one day. We live in the same state. how lucky am I that I moved up here? But yeah, this dude's cool, and I hope he runs for the House of Representatives again, because he ran last time, and I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't successful. He did, the incumbent won, but was it the incumbent? The incumbent's the one who's there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it was like 63 to like 36, something like that, or something. I'm not really sure, but unfortunately, he lost. But I would vote for him. I absolutely would. I have not run into somebody. I was telling the live chat earlier. I've not run into somebody that loves science and learning, that is so energetic about science and learning as this man right here. So, but this is what he was breaking down. This is what literally came up. Mystique, Tina Jones, another member of the Godless Army. Thank you so much for being here. It says, I'm early again, whistling innocently. Ugly German Jew says, dueling banjos was in Georgia, though, not in Oklahoma.
Yes, we know.
So this is what was recently did. This is, what is it? House Bill 2973.
Today, I'd like to draw your attention to this bill that was just introduced here in Oklahoma. It's called House Bill 2973, and as you can see here, it makes it so that the state of Oklahoma cannot prohibit mental health care providers or religious advisors from engaging in sexual orientational change efforts or certain gender dysphoria resolution efforts. So in other words, conversion therapy. This bill is protecting conversion therapy and making it so that the state can never outlaw conversion therapy. The author of the bill made sure to include a section expressly stating that children under the age of 18 were allowed to be subjected to these therapies, and the bill declares itself an emergency measure, stating that it is necessary for the peace, health, or safety of the public. And while
peace, health, and safety of the public. Right.
While Section 4C does say that no part of this bill should be used as justification for aversion therapy, passing a whole bill protecting conversion therapy and then just including a little paragraph that says, but I guess just don't do the worst kind of conversion therapy, is kind of sending mixed messages. Let me be very clear. Conversion therapy is dangerous, pseudoscientific nonsense.
It
does not work.
Yeah.
Do what?
It's been proven not to work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it actually increases suicide rates.
Yep. In all honesty, if we're talking to these devoutly religious assholes, they don't have a problem with.
Yeah.
Worked, and for fuck's sake, why would you want it to work? It is backed by absolutely no credible scientific evidence whatsoever. The only data surrounding conversion therapy that you need to know about is that in 2019, the Trevor Project found that 42% of young people who underwent conversion therapy later attempted suicide. But don't just take my word for it. Here's a list of some of the organizations that have publicly denounced conversion therapy for the literal torture that it is. The American Academy of Child...
Yeah, and he lists a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then...
Regional Office of the World Health Organization.
We
don't just not need this bill. We need the opposite of this bill. We need a bill banning conversion therapy.
Yes.
So please...
Like in Canada.
I don't understand why that's even a thing. Why would we need to have a bill to ban conversion therapy? Why is conversion therapy a thing?
Why is it even a thing?
Why is it even a thing? Like I understand why we need the bill to ban conversion therapy. Yes. My point is we should be talking about conversion therapy. It is the worst. It's just so stupid. It's terrible. It is terrible. Everything about conversion therapy is terrible.
Right. So, and he pretty much breaks it down. You know exactly where he's going with that. Let me see here real quick. Adam, I've converted a few girls who claim they were lesbian. Congratulations, Adam.
Maybe it's your devilishly ladylike looks. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Just teasing.
Ugly German Jews says, whoever thought that law was a good idea or even legal should be SWAT teamed to The Hague. No warning, no second of waiting, just off to be charged with crimes against humanity. Agreed. And Chris Durham says that is some sick legislating. Yeah, it's really.
Just call me Abby. Conversion therapy is when they take someone who is homosexual, and they bombard them with anti-homosexual material, be it like hardcore porn, be it they try to force sexual gratification and sexual attachment towards what they consider heteronormal lifestyles.
Yeah.
It is terrible types of brain. Like, think Clockwork Orange, only instead of anti-violence, is anti-gay.
And the most dangerous kind of it is the what Forrest's talking about. So just call me Avi. Is called aversion therapy.
Yep.
Which is essentially, if you're familiar with immersion therapy, is typically what people want to go. It's pretty extreme, but people to undergo to overcome phobias, where they essentially immerse themselves in
like
the phobia.
Snakes, they put you in a pit full of snakes.
Or they'll make you handle snakes, or like look at them, bring them real close. They're immersing you in it. Aversion therapy is extreme negative reinforcement, so that to try and train your brain into being averse to homosexual thoughts, homosexual ideology, or your sexual impulses. It's literally trying to forcefully rewire your brain.
Yep.
And it doesn't work because...
Well, the problem is it does work to rewire the brain, but the wire paths are so fucked up,
right,
that the person doesn't know how to exist anymore. Therefore, like the video said, they attempt to end their confusion in the worst way possible.
And it winds up creating a negative feedback loop. That's what it does. It creates that negative feedback loop in the brain, because that means they're very essentially who they are. You could say how their brain is, their identity itself has become negatively reinforced. So anytime that kind of who they are kind of like raises its head, there's a negative reinforcement. So you've essentially taken a large chunk of their identity and made them averse to themselves.
Right.
Which is why, we've seen suicide rates end up, so high with people who have undergone this crap. It's absolutely devastating to people, to families, to communities. It's just insane why people would do this. Randolph Richardson brings up, conversion therapy was recently outlawed in Canada, and this new law includes prohibiting advertising of it or organizing buying conversion therapy from other countries. Damn straight.
That should be universal. It should be worldwide. It just does not work. I mean, any type of this type of brainwashing it may work like in the immediate, but it is going to it destroys people. This type of brainwashing destroys people, and it's dangerous. Never should be doing. It just should not be a thing.
Jack Bird, my dad caught me smoking and made me finish the whole pack right then and there. Christians should try the same thing with conversion therapy. Just Johnny's look.
Hey Jack, let me ask you a question. Did you stop smoking?
I think that's the point. You like to smoke poles? Smoke all the poles. Faster. And now I'm a porn star.
Yep. And now I'm a homosexual.
Now I'm a prawn star. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's
I gotta
really,
get out.
really...
I gotta eat dinner.
Oh, you gotta go?
Yeah, I gotta go. It's time for dinner. And you've been on for like 3 hours.
A little over 2.5.
Should have been here earlier, but I had to...
Jack Bird. Nope, still love it. Nom. John Alexander says, "Sign me up." Yes, Sue Kettle, you are correct. It sounds like brainwashing to the brim of insanity.
They drive you into insanity. Conversion therapy drives people insane. Period.
Stopping you from fucking the same sex by fucking your mind. Sound thinking. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's really, really twisted. It's beyond. I myself will be so I will be doing a live stream. And Johnny, if you want to be on at the same time, that would be cool. But I'm going to be doing this on Monday. You're probably going to be at work, but I'm going to do a live stream where I call those representatives, because Forrest put the list of the representatives in the Oklahoma the special powers committee. I'm going to be calling them, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 of them. And I will be calling them on a live stream to discuss, they're, like getting rid of this, shooting it down, bringing things up that's very, very important. Maybe even sending a link to this video so they can, understand these things. To see where their positions are at. See if they are saying against everyone who lives in Oklahoma should be doing this, and even if you don't live in Oklahoma, you should be as well. You know?
Yeah, you got to think about it. People don't understand is when stuff like this passes in one state, that opens the door for it to pass in other states. That's what's dangerous about it.
Which is why the crap in Texas is so scary.
Yes.
And okay, before you go, that's what I wanted to get, what I was going on before I showed that to you, so you would understand what this bill is about. So there is a difference between real dangerous Christian nationalism trying to get through and influence legislation. That is a major scary thing leading towards theocracy and the insanity that is. But then you also have politicians who are fucking cowards, and all they're doing is grandstanding for their base. They don't actually believe in the shit that they're running. They're just signaling to their virtue signaling to their base, saying, "Hey, I'm fighting for the things that you believe in. Vote for me."
Yep.
That's all they're doing. And then you'll never see the shit again until they're up for re-election again. So my question is, what do you think of that line? Where is that line now? After post January 6th.
So this is what we need to do. This is the only way we can solve the issue, and that's going
virtue signaling. Virtue signaling. I use
it's virtue signaling when you're saying, "Hey, you should look at what I'm doing for you because I'm the good guy in your scenario." That is virtue signaling. This is what we have to do. We got to get rid of lifetime politicians. Period. We have to enact term limits because that'll stop that shit right then and there. We also need to tell them that you cannot campaign. I think it's in Britain where they're only allowed to campaign 6 weeks before the election. That's it. That's all the campaigning they're allowed to do. That's something we need over here.
Or Maine. What do they have in Maine? Ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big promoter.
Ranked choice would also get rid of all of the infighting between the two parties instead of saying, "Hey, you suck because of this, you suck because of that." You highlight your differences, and then people rank you based on what they believe, and it works out so much better. So there are so many different things that happen because that happens all the goddamn time, and not just in Republican style states, in Democratic style states as well. You'll get liberal politicians that only they'll again virtue signal to their base, knowing that whatever it is they're signaling for won't actually pass, right? So you'll get people that let's take a look at voting records. Here's why voting records don't necessarily mean a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
People say, well, the guy I'm voting for, his voting record is in line with what I believe it to be. You can't just stop there. You actually have to look. Like, oh, I wanted him to vote against that bill for conversion therapy. Awesome. Go back and look at that bill for conversion therapy. Look at the vote. Look how many people were going to vote for that anyway, and how many people weren't going to vote for it. Was it a guaranteed pass? And this vote was one that didn't really mean shit? Because there are a lot of times that you'll look at these bills that, you'll get one politician, be a Republican or Democrat, that will, I voted against it, knowing full well that bill was going to pass regardless of how they voted.
Right.
But they voted against it simply for the fact that they can say they voted against it. That shit happens all the goddamn time.
Crazy. Now, I wanted to check. I was just checking real quick, see, because I have my new emoji up, and I really, really want to put it out there. And you've seen it. And
good, yeah.
I so want to unlock this thing. To have a good one, Sean Alexander. He's got to head out. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations.
Congratulations for being here.
Congratulations for being here. So thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. And yeah, I think Johnny's got to go to dinner, and I am going to continue on here for a little bit. That's pretty much it. Yeah, but I wanted to get your take because, you have kids. You live in Texas, and you know this crazy, and you have 3 girls.
Yeah.
So I know that this abortion thing is fucking. I know you don't have to deal with it now. Hopefully, you will not have to deal with it in the future.
My oldest daughter turns 14 next month. So I mean, this danger, if you want to call it that, is right around the corner. So yeah, it's these things are very worrisome. Simply because we get too many. The thing that kills me, and this is the last thing I'll say before I take off out of here. The thing that kills me is you get Republicans talking about we don't want government overreach. We don't want government overreach. We don't want government overreach. Well, we're going to pass this bill that's nothing but government overreach. Like, fuck off. Yeah. Can't have both ways. Anyway, cheers, everybody.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. Anything coming up or anything you want to plug? Or
I got a couple of videos that'll be out next week. I'm also working on Mom Take's videos, so lots of fun.
Awesome, cool, and of course, big updates coming from Weekinhorror. Johnny's one of the hosts over there. Big updates as soon as we have them. As soon as we,
oh man, I can't wait to announce that.
I want to show them. So
bad. I know. I've told a very, very few people like that are in confidence, right? Like my wife and whatnot. But I haven't shown anybody the artwork because I don't want that getting out.
I want to.
I do too. I want to like fucking throw that shit everywhere. Like, check it out. Look at this. Look at this. But yeah. I'm the same way.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so cool.
That thumbs up. Once we get that thumbs up, here's the thing though. Once green light happens, you're not gonna see a whole lot of us.
Yeah, we're gonna be embroiled because that's the essentially the filmmaking business. So we may do it. Actually, we will do our best to do some shorts while we're along that process, so you can follow along with us on Weekinhorror. But as far as like creative content, it might be really sparse.
It'll be real
so we'll try to do our best. But hey, big thing, things are coming. Your support, I can tell you this: your support of this channel, all the channel members, everybody that helps out, all the super chats, all of that, the patrons over at Weekinhorror, everyone who PayPal's over there, all of that has assisted and helped us make this happen. So it's going to be a blast. We can't wait to share you the information. God, I'm
so excited to tell people about this one here because it's yeah. Anyway, I'm out. See you guys.
All right, Chief. Have a good one. Aaron Reese says, when do I make it on the artwork? Soon. But what you do need to do is you need to send me a headshot and you need to send me a bio so that we can add you to the website. So a headshot and a bio so we can add you in there. Alex will get you in there so you'll be on the Meet the Hosts line. So just get that to me whenever you can. Thor Rasmussen for 30 Donkey Kong dollars. Thank you so much for a super sticker. I wish that I could see it. Maybe I can see it. You know what I'm going to do? And I just checked. We're actually 7. We're 7 channel members away from. Let me do this. I have to mute myself. There we go. Oh, thank you, Thor. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love corgis. Is that a corgi? It looks like a corgi. Looks like a corgi to me. So thank you so much, Thor. I appreciate that. Super stickers are cool. All right. Yes, thank you, Aaron Reese. Appreciate that. Thank you, Thor, for the support. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, we're seven channel members away from me unlocking the next emoji, and it is the Greg Locke emoji. I think that y'all will dig the shit out of it. But yeah, if you want to become a channel member, it's 99 cents a month. I'm never going to raise that price. That's pretty much what I value my content as, about 99 cents a month. So that's pretty much it. So, and you get access to everything. And I'm going to be I'm going to figure out how to do it so I can do it in the best way. That channel members will get early access to our to my created content. So that we'll do like a members thing, and then I'll drop it for everybody else. And so I'm trying to figure out how to do that to make it equitable for everybody. But I think that would be the one of the cool things I could give to channel members is that we can do like a members will see it first, and then it will go to everybody else. Maybe I'll do 2 premieres or something. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, so I've got that new emoji saved and ready to go. I can't wait to share it with you. And what we were talking about as far as Weekinhorror is that everybody knows that we got the door opened. Hey, random name generator says, Bridget says, love to be a member, cannot. Don't even worry about it. It's all good. So YouTube does not allow memberships or super chats from my little island of Jersey. Not a problem at all. Don't even sweat. It's like if you can, if you're able to. I'm just letting everybody know like what the limit is there. But yeah, if you're not able to, just you being here means the world to me. So your likes, your shares, the conversation we're having now, the information that we are sharing from where you guys are all over the world, because there are people here from the US, from the UK, from Australia, everywhere, every single one of you. This is what makes this is why this is amazing. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. But you being here makes it worth it, man. Friggin' love it. Random, just join Jail's OnlyFans. I do not have an OnlyFans. Oh, I winked with the wrong eye again. Oh, that was King Xerxes just messaged me. Oh, he said, sorry, I was sleeping. That's okay. So, King Xerxes, former law enforcement officer. I'll be looking forward to talking with him. So, but pretty much that was what I wanted to chat about, is that we seem to be ever since January 6th. I think we've seen that Christian fundamentalists, that Christian nationalists have seen a kind of invitation to increase their push towards a kind of theocratic mentality. And it's a little scary in that respect. From the Netherlands, going to go for it's from the Netherlands. Awesome. Thank you so much. All the way over. It's awesome to hear where everybody's from. It's so freaking cool. So, and of course, Canada. I know Randolph Richardson's up in Canada. I appreciate you there. Oh, Thor's from Denmark. There you go. I'm eventually going to get my ass out there. I tell you what, when I eventually do go and visit Irish Demon, being up there, I may be able to bounce around and check stuff out. There's a lot of people in the UK I would love to run into and be like, hey, and they're going to be like, who are you? And be like, hey, I'm the guy with the colored beard. They go, I think I know you. You've been on Team's channel before. So that might be that, but it'll be fun. I definitely want to check out Amsterdam. Oh yeah, Amsterdam would be sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I definitely at one point I want to go out and visit the Ark Encounter with Johnny. The Ark Encounter is not that far from me. It's not. It's just a few hours away. I would love to get out there and go check that out. I think it would be hilarious. So Johnny, I can go out there and make fun of it and take some covert video. Of course, if they're watching this, then they probably won't allow me to do it. So they'll be like, "Oh, we know who you are." But Aaron Reese said my autocorrect was like, "You fucked that all up and screwed up the entire sentence." But yeah, I definitely want to visit. I definitely want to visit Europe and get out there and say hi to people and do cool stuff. I mean, Irish came out here, it was an absolute blast, and I want to hang out with him. So that'll be fun. I'll figure it out eventually. Because if the whole movie thing with Weekinhorror, because everybody knows, we pretty much got the go ahead to start moving forward on things, and we've submitted a very important artwork, and if that artwork gets greenlit, then the script gets moved forward. If the script gets greenlit, then we are in pre-production, and currently we're kind of like in pre-production now. But as soon as they greenlight that artwork, the script goes in, depending on how, and hopefully it won't take long to get through rewrites, because I know that there will be rewrites, even though my scripts are amazing. But there's going to be rewrites, and then of course once we get through that, we're off and running, and we will document that as best we can. It'll be a lot of fun. Logical Hillbilly says, stop by Dinosaur Land and grab a couple T-Rexes for the Ark. I'll bring some with me. Definitely. Dinosaur Adventureland. I'm actually like, it would be so weird going out there because number one, it's like a meth compound with like the quality of dinosaurs and crap they have out there. It's absolute trash. They have like, aluminum siding dinosaurs and shit. It's just garbage. And Aaron Reese, that would be awesome. Yeah, to go out to the Ark Encounter and actually check that out. I would like to see it. They put a lot of money into it, and it's a business expense, so I could write off the ticket. Just goes, doesn't the script come first before storyboarding? Yes, the script does come before storyboarding. Once this script is done, but you can kind of get a jump on that if you know what you've got. You can basically get a jump on it. So if you have the script and you're just doing some rewrites waiting for approval, then you can kind of like work on that. And then some storyboards, obviously, they prove the script. There's going to be some rewrites, but you're going to be able to save some of that. So you can save yourself work in the long run so that, it's kind of like what they did with the vaccines, is that everybody was working on, it wasn't just an A, B, C, D, E, F, G sequence. People were able to work on different sequences at once and then combine their work together to create a vaccine. So it's kind of doing the same thing. It's pretty much working on different sections and saying, okay, we have this ready. It's less work we have to do in the future, less time we have to waste in pre-production. We can jump immediately into production. It's a little koala. Aaron Reese says DAL is hillbilly hell. I have no doubt. It is an actual movie for distribution, for probably VOD and DVD distribution. So, but we will have more details on that as they come. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I got, is talking about this scary stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing another live stream where I chat, where I call up the Oklahoma powers that be. And I have those numbers that Forrest shared with me. I will be contacting them directly and talking with them and seeing what we can get out of them, seeing what their positions are, seeing what they say. And of course, I have more creative content coming out. I have more videos. I've got Matt Powell coming out. I've got some Greg Locke coming up. I've got another dude that I came across that I have not seen before. That's Greg. What is that? Is this dude who's like, oh no, that was a picture. I have another guy that I ran into. What the heck is this dude? Eric Daly, Pastor Daly, who was talking about the famous like the deathbed words of atheists, in which he lies his ass off completely. So where he basically says, "Yeah, Voltaire said this." He's like, he didn't say that. Like, no. Like, he's trying to make it all like all these atheists when they died, they're like, "Oh God, help me." It's like they didn't. They didn't. It's a bunch of lies and bullshit in order to scare believers into not leaving. So basically, like to basically show to tell other believers the atheists are like liars or full of crap. And it's the classic misrepresentation and lies they do to that. Plus, I've got another one from Bruce Mejia. Bruce Mejia will be making an appearance on this with some really, really bad shit. Some really bad misrepresentation and lies about atheism as well. So I got a bunch of stuff coming up. Lots of cool stuff coming up. I have lots of writing that I have to get done. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So that's what's coming up on the channel. Got all kinds of cool stuff. Lots of credit content coming up. More live streams. Going to be talking on the next live stream, which I think I'm going to do on Monday. It'll be Monday or Tuesday, most likely on Monday. We'll be talking to Oklahoma. I will go live on that. So look for that one probably around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock is when that's going to come up. So I'm going to be talking about that. Pata P, thanks for coming in. Says, we are going to see some cool shit in our lifetimes. Gird thy loins. They are girded. Absolutely. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, over on Weekinhorror, the horror film podcast, we have all kinds of cool stuff coming up. We've changed a couple of things. So we're doing our interviews a little bit differently. And then, of course, we have the bloodbath debates for our patrons to come in to be special judges. And then, of course, we've got the After Darks, which our patrons come in and try to beat us at movie trivia, and then win prizes. And new episodes every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you haven't subscribed to Weekinhorror, pop over there and hear us talk about horror movies because it's a lot of fun. But other than that, we're really trying to get that one. We're slowly but surely getting up to 1,000. Hopefully, we will get there eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for all of the super chats. We will put them to good use. Thank you to all of the amazing channel supporters. I do appreciate every ounce of your support. Channel members, you guys rock. Enjoy those emojis. Rock those emojis. I cannot wait to unlock the next one from you. We're 7 channel members away from that. And then other than that, I think that's about it. I think that's all. So I guess until the next one, when we call up the Oklahoma powers that be and we raise hell with them. So that's going to be fun. And Bob Nodell, no doubt, if I come out to visit Irish, we're visiting you as well. Oh, thank you so much, Rick Manellis, for $1.99 Freedom Dollar. Thanks, JL. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Appreciate your support. You guys rock. Love you all so much. I'm JL. This has been Bridge the Divide. Be safe. Be excellent to each other. And together, we can bridge the divide.